Reverb Experiment episode number 19.
Sheesh.
We in the building. I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling? Everybody good?
Oh, we're starting?
Yeah, we're starting right now. We're on.
Oh, wait, can you do it again?
No,
bro.
No, just kidding.
Run it. Let's go.
Let's go. How everybody feeling?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm great.
Great.
Doing all right. Old enough to iron, young enough to not care. With the wrinkled white tee on today, baby.
You could at least throw that in a dryer with a paper towel.
I knew one of you niggas would say that, bro. But shit, then, you crumble up the paper, but you still need the answers on the. You know what I'm saying?
done.
Take it back out, nigga. Just throw it on.
It is what it is.
Okay.
All right, you guys already know what it is.
When you throw the
receipt, nigga, and you want to return something?
Nah, when you throw away the microwavable dinner and shit, I figure out how long you got to microwave before you forget.
I'm
Oh shit!
so done.
Is it 2 minutes or 3?
All right, so intro. For those that have not listened to us, if you're new, this is the Reverb Experiment Podcast. We are for the people about the culture. This is G_Focus. It's on the mic. To my left, we got Steph.net the Queen.
What's good?
To her left, we got Rajeo the King.
Rajeo.
To his left, we got Photo B the King on the mic.
Kings and queen.
I was a queen last time.
Man, look.
Man,
look, sometimes
Say that
you-
then.
times
Transition
get
back
tired.
to my
Say that
natural self.
Times get tired, man. All right, so
Speak your
we ain't gonna hold y'all. We ain't like these other podcasts. I got a whole bunch of sponsors at the beginning and talk and talk and talk. We gonna get right into it.
not
Man.
yet.
Oh, we gonna get some sponsors,
I was gonna say, didn't you just get a raise?
but it ain't gonna be. But it ain't gonna be at
You're
the
getting
beginning.
paid.
It ain't gonna be at the beginning. All right, so
Sprinkled in.
we got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened, and today's show we're gonna talk about Dani Leigh and her colorist comments. And the song Yellabone. We're going to talk about the versus battle between Ashanti and Keyshia Cole that did amazing numbers. We're also going to talk about Chad Wheeler and his domestic violence. We're going to talk about the T.I. and Tiny allegations that have come forth. And we are also going to touch on the Russell Simmons documentary that is mentioned, or that is named, On the Road, that premiered at the Sundance Festival on the 25th. Before we get into that, we definitely want to thank all of our listeners via YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, however you decide to consume your content. We appreciate all the love and support. We definitely want to encourage everybody to please like, subscribe, or follow. And please share your podcast with your friends and family. We love hearing from the fans. So if you wanted to leave any comments or any reviews, please do. We will read those on air. And if you wanted to get a little bit better in touch with us, follow us on Instagram at the Reverb Experiment or on Facebook, where we actually have a group that is called the Reverb Nation, where we discuss our episodes and topics throughout the weeks in between our episode. So please go ahead and add those.
Hey, how many members we got on that?
A lot of them.
Like
544.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes. Please subscribe.
Ring the bell. Is that what we're supposed to say? Ring the bell.
Ring the bell so that way you will be alerted when we have new episodes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. I was watching other YouTubers say that.
Yes.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. All right. We got some major announcements. So we have a very special episode coming up on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's, not times.
Valentine's
You said times.
with an N.
You said M.
I could have sworn I said Valentine's, but okay. Hey, I'm not going to argue with Steph.net. So
He knows better. He knows better.
We got her back instantly.
Anyway, so we got a special episode coming up on Valentine's Day.
Ass. He's an ass.
Where we are going to have a special segment called For the Love of Photo B.
Yeah.
So we are going to have our very eligible bachelor on the show. We're going to have all the women that would like to get to know him a little bit better. Send us an email or message me, G_Focus, if you would like to be a part. It is basically like your Love Connection show where you will be asked a series of questions. Photo B will then ask his serious questions. And then we will have our group and social media decide who he should go on a date with.
A whole last day?
A whole ass date.
I thought it was a Zoom date.
Yeah,
thought
it was
it was
virtual.
Zoom date, virtual date, however you want to
Look
do
at
it.
him. He's
That's on you.
backpedaling right now.
All right, cool.
No, I said date.
No,
If it's a
him.
Zoom
He
date, it's
said,
a-
I thought it was a Zoom date.
And the kicker is,
He don't want to spend
Yeah,
no
that's
money.
what I'm saying. He's spending my money. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Hey,
Hey.
send your address. I'll DoorDash you some food.
And
we
can
will
eat dinner
we
together.
will provide a prize to the winner. We will provide a prize to
date
the
with
winner.
Photo B is a prize.
We will also add another
who?
prize with it.
Them, if they're competing,
right.
that's a prize.
No, but seriously,
Yeah, she found.
if you would like to participate, message me or email at the Reverb Experiment. Excuse me, the Reverb Experiment at gmail.com. Excuse me.
You had it right.
And we're gonna have some fun. So please,
And
it
we've
needs
had
to
people
be in.
reach out already.
We've
So
had some people reach out. There's
My
been
man.
some interest.
My man.
Been
I'm
some
cute. You
interest.
feel me?
They don't listen to the episodes.
Don't hate on. Hey, Steph gonna have nobody apply in a minute.
She killing my man's.
Right.
Hey,
A photo B is amazing.
Thank you.
He is amazing.
Appreciate
He
it.
is an amazing man. So
love. That's love.
please apply, and we're gonna have some fun. This is all in good fun. It's all in
Right.
good fun. We, it ain't gonna be nothing crazy. We ain't gonna be,
Hey, it might be a real connection. What you mean, fun?
I'm
you
saying,
never know.
Well, a real connection is fun.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Nigga, we gonna see.
The Zoom date might turn to a date to Rockland. Rockland open. You feel me?
You gotta go.
How we?
I'll take you to the Galleria. We can get some Cold Stone.
Bro. Placer County's open. All right.
Go to Studio Movie Grill, and that's it.
Now that's expensive.
All right. Is that all we got? Do we got any more announcements?
No,
Nope.
we ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So, Dani Leigh. What is it? Dani Leigh or Dani Leigh?
Who cares?
Light skin.
Light skin.
Like
Yellabone.
Look, we don't even care.
Yellabone.
This-
Yellabone.
She's not Yellowbone.
Here we
But
go.
it's Dani Leigh.
Dani Leigh. All right. So,
Dani I don't know.
she
Sounds like Leigh.
She's
she rocked the internet by uploading her song Yellowbone featuring the baby. And as soon as she uploaded, she started receiving extreme backlash from everybody and their mama.
Well, she should have.
Huh?
She should have.
She should have.
And
She
for
should have.
partially the wrong reason, because that song was ass.
It was terrible.
It was
yeah,
the worst.
we can't leave that part out.
Bro, I'm more upset that nobody said that.
No, a lot of
no,
people
a
did.
lot of people
Initially, they weren't. Initially,
Yeah.
they weren't saying it was trash. That song was trash can.
I feel like they were saying it was trash, but I feel like they were like putting it all, lumping it together. It was,
Okay.
it sounded trash and the lyrics was trash, but we need to specify
Who let
that
her-
the song was trash.
Let her rap.
Right. And then after it was released and after she got backlash, she doubled down and she tried to back it up by saying that there's nothing wrong with her, being comfortable in her skin and being proud that she's light skinned. Then she also said that we need to be focusing on unity, etc., which led to her getting dragged even more. And then she came out with an apology. So we're going to listen to the apology. Then we're going to call CT and she's going to help us along with this conversation. So give me 1 second. I'm going to play the apology from Dani Leigh.
Hey guys, it's Dani Leigh, and I just wanted to
Dani Leigh.
address
Okay.
what's going on with me right now. I think it's super important because I definitely feel misunderstood. Like, I feel like my song "Yellowbone is what he want" got the world raffled into
Yellowbone is
thinking
what he want.
Hold on. Before we finish this, should you ever start an apology by saying, I think I misunderstood?
No, because
Okay.
you ain't sorry.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right.
said that's what the world wants. Like, no, like, I just speaking on my man. That's what he wants. That's what he has. Like, when I make music, I'm in the studio vibing, turning up, happy as fuck. Like, I'm just making music. It was cool. Like, it was just to turn me up real quick. That's how I make music. Like, it wasn't really meant to be something that people took so deeply. And I understand, like, colorism is a real thing. And I guess you could say I wasn't as knowledgeable in that topic, but I wasn't thinking so deeply into it when I was making this song.
You could tell she don't
And it's like, also,
think
I
deep
see a
much
lot of
about it.
brown skin women making music about their skin types. And it's like, why can't I? Like, you see me, I'm light skinned. I consider myself a Yellowbone. That's my definition of it.
See,
that's
that's
just
the
how I
problem.
felt at the time. It wasn't even
You
the
have to be
song I
black to be a
released.
Yellabone.
I just made a trailer. I was wearing all yellow. I had yellow hair. I was like, oh, it's cute. Let me make a trailer real quick. I didn't think it was going to blow over like that at all. And then to call me a colorist, to call me a racist is like, yo, how? I'm dating a whole chocolate man. I have beautiful melanin friends. Like, it's like, y'all really took it there when it's like, nah, like, let's... It's not about that. That's not where I was coming from. I don't see my skin as a privilege. I never looked at myself as better than anybody, more superior. It wasn't even about
Instagram
that. It
says
was just
differently.
me making a cocky ass song. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I offended you guys. Like, it was not my intention at all. And, you know, yeah, I know you guys don't know me. That's why I felt like it was important to get on here and speak. So at least you can feel me and hear my voice. Speak on it, because I was going to write something up, but I was like, nah, let me just speak on it so y'all could feel me. So, yes.
How my fingernails looking?
Girl,
That's how I
we still didn't feel you.
All right.
First off,
Hold on. We're gonna call CT.
because she gonna talk a lot, she gonna have all the answers, and none of us gonna have nothing to say. We know how CT is. Look at Steph, you look disgusted.
Because that apology was trash.
It was. It's trash shit.
It was very trash. I mean, it wasn't an apology. It was an
It
explanation.
was an explanation. Exactly what it was.
Like, you could have kept that. You already said what you
All
had
she
to
had
say.
to do was say is, I'm sorry, I made a mistake in my song. Boom. That's it.
Hello.
Yo.
Hey.
Yo.
G
What's
underscore
good?
focus from the Reverb Experiment Podcast with Steph.net, Rajeo, and Photo B.
What's popping?
All right.
All
What's
right.
up? Good morning. Good afternoon.
What's up, T?
It's morning.
It's
It's still
CT.
morning.
Good morning.
Century with the bars.
What's up?
First, we want to thank you for all your support
Hell
and just being so active in the Reverb Nation and always holding us down.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Thank you for giving me a platform to do
I'll
Hell
wait.
yeah.
So we just listened to Dani
Leigh.
Leigh, whatever her name is, Dani Leigh's
No respect on her
apology,
name.
and we're about to give our reaction. So we're gonna let the guest go first.
I told you, CT about to murder. I don't have nothing to say. 'Cause
Okay,
CT
so hold
walked all
on, CT. Rajeo wants to go first.
No.
No. This is your house. Go ahead.
You're right. This is my house.
This is your
I'm
house.
so done.
Did we talk about this earlier?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
That's why
So
nobody
you go
can beat me
first.
on Street Fighter.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just joking.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, though, since I'm going first, I think the apology was trash. I think that the song, she's saying people aren't thinking about it as deeply as they need to, but it's clear that she's taking shots at the baby's baby mama, right? Because they got beef, right? And she's a dark-skinned woman. And so that's what the real issue is for me. The real issue is for me is the intent to divide a household, right?
Okay.
So I think that, number one, you should be black to be a Yellabone. Number two, I feel like you got to know the background of why she made the song, right? It's a cocky ass song, but it's a cocky ass song to compare and contrast what she looks like versus the baby mom. You know what I mean? So she is directly taking a shot at brown skin, dark skinned women, even though she's saying she's not. That was what her intent was. And then she used the whole NDRE brown skin thing, but brown skin girl and Beyonce brown skin girl, but that's inclusive of all brown people. That's not saying that my brown skin is greater than your brown skin because of the shade or the tint of it. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the whole thing was, I think it was trash. I think it's even more trash that the baby is a multi-platinum award-winning artist and he let her put that shit out. That's the real issue I have with this whole thing. That hurts my feelings more than anything else. How are you going to have the baby in your studio session and this nigga's like, that's the one?
Facts.
Anyway.
Yeah,
That's real.
that's real. Facts. More. Put on some more change.
Man.
All right, go ahead, CT. Tell us what you think.
Well, of course, I agree with everything he said, and we got to shout out what's dude's name, Rogue Route in the group or whatever his name is.
That's my nigga Rouge.
Yes,
Rouge.
the excellent trolling of the NDRE situation.
Yeah.
Before I say what I want to say, I just want to piggyback off of that we also have to lift that NDRE's song was not just inclusive of brown people. She was uplifting black men because black men were getting so torn down by the whole prison system and the whole, stop and frisk and everything else that was going on. That's why I was laughing at him like, what, we're going to go back to MySpace and ask her about it? This was so long ago. It's not social media time.
And while you're talking about that song, I want to just read some of the lyrics because some of these people are not familiar with that song.
Yeah.
Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin.
Facts.
I can't tell where you begin, but I can tell where mine ends. Brown skin up against my brown skin. Need some every now and then. Oh, hey. How was that dividing?
It's not.
Come on now.
Not even a
Not
little
at
bit.
all.
And she's not even
a little
referring.
bit.
I mean, she does refer to her own brown skin, but she's mainly talking about loving a brown or melanated man.
Yeah.
That's right.
So how are you comparing those two?
Bro, did you hear her talking in her
They're
interview?
not-
She's
all
not
they-
educated, bro.
All
She
they're
does-
comparing is the titles of the songs.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, y'all ain't listened to the
on
song
most
in a minute.
It's on the most basic of levels. But what I really want to lift, one of my biggest pet peeves is people that use verbiage that you don't even know the roots of where it comes from. Okay.
Facts.
And I'm not, thinking I'm better than anybody else, but I'm a very proud Howard University Bison.
Hey.
And our whole freshman year, we have to go through something called freshman seminar, in which we have to learn the history of how our people even got to be at Black colleges and universities, and understand that when Howard was first built, it was built for the Black mixed children of slave owners. Okay. So you couldn't even go to Howard unless you passed the paper bag test, which was meant you put the paper bag up to your face. And if you're darker than that paper bag, you ain't coming.
Right.
So you have to understand, we aren't even a whole century. We aren't even that far removed from where dark complected people could even go to HBCUs. You see what I'm saying? So when you're using verbiage, then let's lift. Redbone actually comes from the Creole culture of French and Black people intersecting and having children, and it was Redbone. Do you understand how basic this is? People don't even know the culture, and to call it Redbone, that they called it something they understand.
Right.
And now we got Yellabone. That ain't even a real thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so fake and stupid and basic that for her to now do that, it's obvious that this was to attack the baby mama, because it's not a real word.
Facts.
It has no real culture. It has no real explanation.
Facts.
So that's annoying in itself.
But you're asking someone who clearly is not educated in I mean, you can tell by the lyrics in the song, right?
Right.
Like if you're talking to an intellectual person or artist, like when I'm listening to your music, I know that you're well thought out. You understand what I'm saying? When you listen to G Focus or you listen to my music, you can tell that we're well thought out. You understand what I'm saying? So when I listened to the song in the first place, there was just no way that she did anything to uplift, because I didn't.
It
feel,
wasn't.
I
You
didn't.
could tell by the lyrics. Like, even if you're trying to compare it to Brown Skin Girl or whatever, those lyrics are uplifting. They have nothing to do with the desire of a man.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's about
How the woman feels towards the man.
herself.
Right,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But you know what the real gag is? Let's just imagine. So we're going to empower while we're self-loathing ourselves. We're going to empower while we are in turn
But
self-loathing.
she's not even
She's
black.
self-loathing.
Yeah, she's
but
not even right.
let's just for shits and giggles, let's just say she was black.
That's what I'm saying.
That part.
That's
Look
what I
at
say.
this.
That's what I'm saying. It's
She's-
even more. It's even
she's-
more frustrating
it's
because she's
ridiculous.
not. You know what I'm saying?
But she's self-loathing. This is my biggest thing. She's self-loathing because you are passing off a song as if you are trying to empower women when your whole intention is to keep a fucking man.
well, not
How
even
fucking low are you?
not even
bitch?
just
Like,
that though.
it's
Empowering the kind of woman that you're not even.
Yeah, not even a black person.
You're
You know
not
what
even
I mean?
black.
And then again, it goes into the whole thing. Y'all were posting Kiki Wyatt as well, and all this other stuff.
Lord.
You know, this shit. The whole thing is, it's fun to be black when the fun is happening, and when the hip hop is happening, and when the cultural fashion is happening, and when the comedy is happening. But when it's time to be black in systematic racism and oppression and housing disparities and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be black. You want to step over to the other side and the triple other
redlining
side.
hurts. That's why.
Yeah.
Redlining
So
hurts.
then when Rob posted that, wasn't it you, Rob, that posted that? Is this you, Kiki?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. So you black the other day, and then now y'all might as well just go start a little organization with Rachel Dolezal. Go
and
to her
they
beauty
can
shop
Well,
and
and-
go
and Woe
together.
Vicky, throw Woe Vicky in there.
And to reference that for the people that are listening that may not be aware, Kiki Wyatt was on Go Live, and she was basically saying that she's biracial, and that biracial people get they get oppressed as well. So then I did a quick little search, and I found an Instagram post with Kiki Wyatt on the caption saying that I'm black and I'm proud. So that when we talk about racial ambiguity, that is where I have always had the stance that it's not always problematic, but it can be problematic because in one area, when it's beneficial to you, you can say I'm black because it brings black dollars. But then when you want to cross over and go in the mainstream, then you can say, oh, I'm biracial.
Oh, you talking about
Oh,
Zendaya?
I'm white, or oh, I'm Latina, or oh, I'm whatever. And then you're able to then cross over and get into other avenues that you wouldn't normally be able to get into when you're black, right? Because we see it all the time where black artists always get the Soul Train nominees, but never get the Grammy nominees, or they get the BET awards, but then they don't get the Oscar award. You know what I mean? And we, some of those people want to cross over so bad that in doing so, they're willing to be anti-black in the meantime. So
My thing with her was she's like, biracial people are oppressed. They sure ain't oppressing the white side. They oppressing the black side. It's because you mix with black boo.
right. Well, and then to bring it back to Dani, she has also done the same thing where on Instagram, she has darkened her skin.
Yep.
And she is tanned and whatever look darker. But now you are able to switch up and say, now I'm Yellabone, I'm light skinned.
because you want to be petty.
Whenever.
And she's also said, I am Dominican, I'm this, I'm Latino.
And then she hit the whole Latin roots
But
thing,
she said, I'm Dominican, but I grew up with the influence of my black friends. So that leads me to believe that you don't consider yourself black.
Right. What black person says I'm influenced by
I'm
my
with
black
my
friends?
black friends. Right.
I'm Dominican, but I was influenced by my black
that's the
friends.
thing, like in the South Americas, right, where you do have the Dominicans and all these other people, right? It's a melting pot, right? So there's a heavy chance that she could be white and just Dominican, right? Or she could be black and Dominican, right?
But she made it clear.
But she made it clear, right? She said it herself. But a lot of people, I saw a lot of people argue that Latinos are from African descent, which is true. Right, but
some are,
right.
Yes.
But Dani Leigh didn't play that card.
No,
she played the card.
And even if she did, she don't know what the hell that means to even tell you that. Come on, like let's really be real. Like this whole thing. Like if you really think about, like I'll give you another perspective. My mother is by definition a mixed woman. Her mother is was black. Her father was white and Native American, okay? But in the 60s, when she's growing up, she's born in 1953, so you got to imagine elementary school, late 50s, middle school, early 60s. She was isolated and treated horribly because she was fair. My mother was fair-skinned, and she couldn't make her hair go into an afro and couldn't do all those things and was ostracized and very introverted because of it. Her and my aunts were treated that way. You know what I'm saying? So we've been treated poorly on both sides for a very long time. It just goes in and out on who the hell we are dissing in the community together, who's getting more flack in which year. And I wanted to ask, had y'all ever seen that Oprah masterclass where Gabrielle Union went on there with Felicia Rashad, Alfre Woodard, and Viola Davis, and she confessed speaking so poorly about light-skinned actresses so that they couldn't get jobs. And she was going there telling people, I'm admitting it. I want to tell my truth and I want to be different. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. That episode was crazy because Gabby I know she went in there feeling like, well, I'm brown skin. I'm going to be empathized with because all the women on the panel are elders and brown skin. Well, maybe not Felicia Rashad, but the others. Woo! If they didn't light a fire, Felicia Rashad just whooped her ass on that show. Okay. Like she just basically, you know what I mean? Because it's just so sad how it's a hierarchy that puts us up against each other.
Facts.
They do it through commercials. They do it through the TV you watch. They do it through so many ways.
Facts.
And because we can't just call it out and say, let's just get through this bullshit together, we're never going to move.
Yep.
And that's where I
Man.
begin irritated. Like within the group, I understand people's other viewpoints, but when you just call out, stuff like, oh, well, didn't Foxy Brown say that she's brown in her song?
Right.
Come on,
It's
bruh.
like we gotta stop. We gotta at some point we
understand
gotta
the
stop these
conversation
narratives
before you talk about it. Like, just understand.
But I always tell Focus, I always tell Steph, and I always tell Photo B, man, it's more frustrating to want people to think how we think instead of going into a conversation understanding that most people are not educated about these things, nor do they ever care to be educated about such, right? Most people are more concerned about the materialistic or the visual aesthetic of what they appear as. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's not tit for tat though. Like we're not trying to let's point out this song or that song. It's like
No, but
we're
that's what
just
I'm
trying to
saying.
stop this narrative. We're trying to at the root of it, this narrative, we got to stop these narratives.
Yeah, but
period.
then that takes that again, like we talk about with the generational curses of men and women, right? This is going to take a lot of work because a lot of people are growing up in broken homes that are taught to think this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we're about to get into the meat of the conversation. Before we get into that, Photo B, with your thoughts, because I don't think we heard from you yet.
I want to know, what is it in the song that she said that everybody's mad about? What exactly in the song that she said?
Yellabone. That's
the,
what he
the
want.
beginning, the first fucking 3 words.
Yellabone. That's what he want.
So
That's what he wants part for me. Why don't you
Exactly.
just say Yellowbone and start rapping? Yellowbone, Yellowbone, Yellowbone,
Because
Yellowbone.
that's-
Then you can start rapping. Why not?
I mean, she's talking about somebody who wants a yellow bone. Why is that?
No, he said that's what he
it's
wants.
the-
Right, that's what
gonna
he
be
wants.
taken generally.
It's the intent.
Wait, you said what about it being taken generally?
It's the intent, Photo B. You're missing the intent portion of it.
Exactly.
But I thought it was intended.
That's why
It was intended towards the baby
some
mom.
people-
Hold on. Let's get.
It wasn't. The lyric was intended as a shot to baby moms, right? To her,
Yes.
his baby moms,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So everybody took offense to that because they felt like it was directed to non-yellowbone women.
No, it perpetuates that narrative of light
Yeah.
skin against dark skin.
Facts. That's
that
what
we
the-
But I
need
was mad
to
about the
really
baby
get
mama
far
thing
away
first.
from.
That's
Like, that was
so
first.
it's a twofold, right? It's an
Yeah.
attack directly on the baby mom, but again, like Steph.net said, the bigger picture is it is divisive,
It's perpetuating the same shit that
It's
we trying
divisive.
to end.
right?
because you got to think out of all the things that separate her from the baby mom,
It's just their skin color.
why did she choose skin color?
Exactly.
Why did she? And she said that this was a way to boost. Like, this was me on my shit.
On
I was
my
having
cocky
fun.
shit.
I was
On
being
my
cocky
cocky.
shit, yeah.
So why do you think that skin color would boost your ego? Why do you choose that? You choose
I'm
that
willing
because.
to bet. Go ahead.
So yeah, she chose that because the deep rooted sense that lighter skin is
Facts.
better than darker skin.
So that's why everybody's mad. That's why you
But
have.
I
That's the
think
difference.
she's so basic that I think she's so basic. You know how these newer celebrities, it's like they know they're a celebrity, but they kind of don't know they're celebrity all the way yet. Like, they
Well, you see,
still a
you know
regular,
what?
basic ass female, and I'm just mad, so I'm gonna just do something.
I'm
And she really wasn't worried about it at the
yeah.
time. And she got a nigga that's gaslighting the whole situation.
Yes,
Let's please
yes,
not allow. You know,
yes.
I'm sure that he pushed it and is just big dicking it all around. How these women keep arguing over him, and that's a whole nother, story. But I just don't even think that she is on the level of thinking to think on a bigger picture like we're talking about.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
right.
That's exactly what I was
Right.
trying to say. When we are, I mean, the expectation, we expect people to have tact and moral and have moral compass and to think about the larger effects, think 360 about the long term and the short term, right? And so, like I said, I just think that we expect basic people to be able to rise above elementary and fundamental ideas.
I'm gonna tell you.
And the
I'm gonna tell
media
you
wants
where.
us to get mad at it too.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where not only she goes wrong with artists and record labels and all this other stuff get in trouble. Back in the day, record labels would make artists go through media training, where you would learn how to speak and not to speak. And as of now, because of social media, that has changed. Hey, little man.
Sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
And nowadays, because social media, because back then artists shouldn't have been accessible.
Facts.
Yeah,
You never
now they
heard,
are.
like, you rarely heard from artists, and when you did, it was in interviews. And the interviews were obviously catered to what they wanted to answer.
Exactly.
Now you hear what's on the artist's mind whenever they want to feel like it, and they just tweet it. Yeah. So now you get a better chance to hear from what people are saying, and now that's why we're. I think we said this like a couple shows ago. We're the first generation that gets to see our people that we look up to seen as trash. Because we get to see what they want. So
we can see how they think, how
they
they really think. Not the artist,
and
not the package
but
that
we really
we're
are
sold.
the first facts. We really are the first generation to do everything. Generational curses, credit repair, investing, to take a stand on the division between black men and black women.
As a whole. Yeah.
We are the first generation. That is,
and that's why I be trying to tell people, have more grace for yourself and for other people, because people be thinking you supposed to have all the answers and you the first generation that's actually
doing
it. Like,
right,
come on
exactly. Now. So I think we stumbled upon a good. So, Photo B, sound like you disagreed with the backlash. Did you not see what was wrong with the song, or do you think because not? And it's not just there was a lot of people that I heard saying, "What's wrong with her being proud of her light skin?"
No.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying
when it comes to the color, when it comes to the aspect of looking at the colorism, I get the anger because we just seen the whole situation with Rick Ross, Just Brittany, and I forgive me for getting the other woman's name, but we see that issue, and she really didn't deserve that spot. Over. So of course, right now, colorism has always been a hot topic.
Right.
But me personally, I am kind of tired of hearing people just get mad about things that don't have to do with them. Because in a sense, if it's like.
That's kind of like, what are we supposed to do?
No, but it does.
Like when they put that up, just act like,
it does have something to do with us, because where we are right now, as this generation, there are things that we're fighting to eradicate, so that the people behind us can have a future and work together. We're trying to disband colorism. We're trying to disband racism. We're trying to disband the inequality between men and women, the division of black people as a whole, right? So when somebody does this and they're a public figure and they can tap into millions and millions of people, that sets the stage and it makes it okay for the next person to do it. This is why she has to get so much backlash.
And we have power. Like, we have hella power now.
Because that song is dead, bro. It's dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
And now the next person gonna think twice, like
before they do it. Do I want to do?
I ain't dropping that.
I don't think anybody. I don't think people are gonna learn. I think some people are gonna learn, but it's gonna happen again.
Yeah,
because it's not like it hasn't happened before.
That's true.
And people got backlash for it, and people are still doing it again. That's true. So it's not like it's.
But the bigger thing is this: if you do it, then you're done. Like she is.
Right.
That's the big picture, right? You have to be able to, like Lil Xan and Lil Yachty and all these guys. As soon as Lil Yachty called Biggie trash, his career was done. As soon as Lil Xan called Tupac trash and said he was whack, his career was gone.
All the cloud chasing, yeah.
That is the power of us standing together like this, right? Because we have the power to influence and change and change the direction of things as we need it to go. So
the biggest problem with it's the consumer. I feel like the consumer is starting to take responsibility because they only putting out what we are willing to consume.
That's right.
And once we say, nah, we ain't fucking with it no more, shit has to change.
That's good.
There you go.
Well, and I think with the internet, I think it opens it up so that way you have more of opportunity to consume different things, right? Because back in the day, we only were able to consume what was on the radio.
Yep.
Facts.
Yep.
They forced us to consume.
We didn't have any
no
internet.
choice. Yeah. Now we can do it moving.
There's SoundCloud, there's Spotify, there's Apple, there's so many different mediums where now people can upload independently, and somebody that isn't even signed to a label can get hot just like that.
Facts.
Not to say that obviously labels have their backing and their marketing and the machine to go. But what I'm saying is that if you are talented enough and if you can do it on your own, it's way easier to do it now than it was before.
Not lying.
And we can take our attention and our money elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's what we be doing.
And another thing with when you talk about the various ways to hear music and stuff, if you think about it, the currency for how a celebrity stays relevant has changed.
That's true.
Okay, the currency is much different on how a celebrity can sell their soul and do something they completely don't align with, don't agree with, just to be topical. I think that is another angle of this whole thing.
Topical for 15 minutes.
Why is she relevant outside of this. I
Right.
can't name a song. I don't know nothing but that she's fucking the baby.
That one song.
What
Chris
else?
Brown,
You know
that
what I
was it.
mean? So it's like you essentially just forced us to listen to music we would never play by giving us this story as well.
That's
so we
true.
should also
That's true. And
list that.
I think it's more troubling. I think somebody said it earlier that the baby ain't getting no backlash.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
None.
And what I thought, the first thing I
CT
thought
said
when
it
I
too.
saw that,
CT said it too.
yeah, CT said it too. I think the first thing that I thought when I read that was she only said that because she's repeating what black men have been telling her whole entire life.
Facts.
Yep.
And the
And
baby
what-
was
and
amping
he
her up.
put
And I'm
smiley
telling you,
faces. That's
yes.
it. That's his whole comment.
And
on the
I'm
whole
telling you
situation.
that he was probably like gassing her up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you so fine. Oh, you so yellow, and this and this and that. And I love your light skin.
You so
'Cause that's
yellow.
what black men do. Hey, red bone. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you.
Or even with her beefing
call
with the
him
baby
queer.
mom and her speaking
Down
negative, a dog and the baby mom or having negative things to say about her skin or whatever. And he right there co-signing or ain't saying shit.
Didn't say nothing. And to me,
You know
it's
he
like,
didn't say nothing because he let her put that song out. That's all I gotta say.
and you can have
Because
issues.
guess what? People go play the baby music like, yeah, that's that nigga. Look at him with these two bitches. And then they sit there and go play his music. He can streams off
That's
these
facts.
stupid.
I mean, plus, like when this came out, man, the baby's brother committed suicide and he lost a grandpa. And I'm not making excuses, but you know what I'm saying? I just know that nigga right now is
Oh, that's true.
he's
too.
not in his right mind. Right, he's got a lot of other stuff going on. I'm not excusing him for not stepping up or whatever, but I think that's a big reason why he's kind of stepped away from the whole situation. I still can't give him credit for letting her drop that
He
bullshit.
co-signed it though. He co-signed it. Then he
put
commented
smiley
on
faces.
it. Yeah.
He was gassing her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit's trash, bro.
No. Yeah. He
That shit's
And then
trash.
she was all like, and y'all are some haters, and I don't care
Who
what y'all
is
think. And then the
hating?
next
That shit is
year, and then the
trash.
next day, she deleted her Twitter.
so if
And then the apology 48 hours later.
so this is so I think this is a good question. If the song was a good song, do you think that we would be having the same response that we're having now?
I think
we
so.
would, but they would be playing it and ignorantly dancing to it. That would be the only difference. Is that it would be getting
Because
spins,
I'm gonna be
and
honest
we would
with
still be talking about it.
A lot of the backlash that I saw, not for her, but in response, was from lighter skinned women. They were like, "What's wrong with this?
This was
Yep.
Why
Oh, no, I
why
was
can
like,
I
this
not
is
like
trash.
my light skin?" And then it even started turning into we get oppressed just as much as you do, and
No, they feel like they get oppressed even more.
Well,
'cause
even
we
more
get it,
now.
We get it
Well,
from white
I-
people and we get it from black
I was trying
people.
I was trying to be nice there.
No, they said
But
they feel
I've
like they're
seen that
more
too.
oppressed.
I've seen that too. So I want to ask this question, and then we can kind of go into kind of trying to wrap this conversation up. Do they have a point? Do they? What? Because hold on. I know Steph ready to go. Hold on.
Do they have a point that
Hold
they're
on.
more oppressed?
Hold on. Do they have a point that they're more oppressed? And is there any space for them to express, I guess, them loving their skin or loving their identity?
Yes, there is space for that.
Okay.
There's a way that you go about it. And
Yes.
it's the brown skinned girl way. It's not the, I feel like it shouldn't, again, if you're uplifting yourself, it shouldn't have nothing to do with a man's attention. Period. I just feel like for women, period, like you have to literally take your self-worth out of the attention of men.
Mhm.
That should already, that's just on a basic woman level.
Okay.
But
That's right.
as far as being more oppressed for being light skinned, because you get it from white people and black people, so do we. You don't think I ain't got teased by black people for being black or having big lips or a big nose? Like, come on, we
African
all
booty
get that. Not
snatcher
saying
and
that
all
it's
that, yeah.
right, but we all get it from black people and white people. Unfortunately, it's called internalized racism. It goes both ways.
Poor jokes. But
No.
I learned something just now because how you view it, I don't view it like that, but I can completely understand why you can view it from just your core as a woman, your being. This is the way you should have done that.
Your
And
value,
that's-
your
and
value
that's-
and your worth has nothing to do with it, man.
and that's
Unfortunately,
fire.
we have to
That's fire
unlearn
as
that
fuck.
because that's what we're taught
That's fire.
our whole life. Is
That's
that
fire. Go get a husband.
yeah,
Raise
you
a
know what I'm
baby.
saying?
Here's a family.
Be a,
Here's a-
all of
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to unlearn
Yeah,
that
that's fire.
first of all. So if you talking about your worth, take that aspect out of it.
See,
That's
again,
right.
And that's why it was trash
see,
to me.
You see what I'm talking about? Again, now this is how we expect people to think. Nah,
Everybody ain't there yet.
I mean, I'm speaking as a light-skinned woman, okay, and woman in period.
A little baddie
I
over
don't
there.
need a song to let me know that I'm the shit. Like, I don't need it.
Mhm.
That was so unneeded. It's like nobody colon. You know what I'm saying? Nobody asked for that. You are not our representative. And like she's saying, if there is room and space for that conversation, let's not look like how it is like at University of Michigan, where they're making white safe space groups to talk about inclusion. You know what I'm saying? Let's not make these inclusion and diversity groups ran by people who are completely vague and blind and not aware, of how to have these conversations in the workplace and everywhere else. I just think that she was not the messenger. They knew it would spark controversy. They knew it would be the only way we push play on something she does. And it was like, that's just it. But as a whole, light-skinned women, brown-skinned women, dark-skinned, whatever you want to call it, I don't understand why this song invites that conversation of oppression. Like, y'all don't know that she's the baby's mistress.
Because
I just feel it's just so ridiculous.
I think because there's always that reverse racism conversation that comes up. When we say we're being oppressed, and white people will say, well, we're being oppressed too.
My thing is, it should be a separate conversation. What I don't like is when somebody's talking about colorism, like I say something about colorism as a dark-skinned woman. Why is that the only time that light-skinned women all of a sudden want to speak up about
what they've gone through?
You just trying to silence what I'm saying.
Weird. That's
Right.
white
That's
people.
weird to me.
Doing.
Right.
You just trying to silence what I'm saying because you could have been having this conversation a long time ago, but you choose when I'm speaking about it to be like, to try to shut me down. And that's what it really is. And they don't want to call a spade a spade. They want to act like,
true.
No, I'm oppressed too. Like, girl, you wouldn't think about this until I started talking.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
I agree with that.
That's facts.
That's true.
But it's just, the whole thing is education through in the moment. Like when stuff like this happens, it's not we gotta keep having this conversation. It keeps needing to be had in the moment when these things happen, and educate our children so that things can be differently. Because, you know what I mean? At this point, like what do you think we're going to do? Like, I'm not, I feel like that white dude that's like from Georgia or wherever he's from, and he's like, it's going off against what happened with the insurrection. And he's like, we're all not like that. I'm tired of having to I'm tired of being light-skinned and don't feel the way that this whole, like, I don't even feel connected to this conversation at all because I just see it what it is.
Right.
And I just feel weird about it, I wonder, and I'm not mixed. Like, I don't view myself as mixed, though my mother is. I am fair because of her situation. But my father is black.
Right.
I'm a black woman who happens to be fair. So you can't even bunch all light-skinned people into being multiracial. We're all multiracial and we just go off. I could have had red hair. You know what I mean? Like, so it just, we have to like get more familiar with get familiar with how they taught us things to hate each other on purpose.
Yeah.
So that we can move
whole
on.
Willie Lynch
That's the
thing,
big
man.
thing.
Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I
Go
was
ahead,
going to say a
Photo.
little bit earlier.
I think when it comes to like directly mixed people feeling oppressed comes from not necessarily feeling included in a specific group.
In either group.
Because you got if you're mixed with black and white direct, like your mom's black, dad's white, however, you have, let's go with extreme whites. They want to keep the white. You're not going to be included with them. You have extreme blacks like Dr. Umar. You're not going to be included with them. Keep people like them like, oh, you mixed with the demon. You can't be included with us. And then you got things like you can't be pro-black if you're not dating white. If you date outside your race. So I can see how they feel oppressed because they don't feel included. They don't feel
and
like
in their own family.
Yep.
Exactly. And they feel like they can't. Exactly. Yeah. They can't communicate because you don't understand.
Yeah.
You're not included over here. You got it good. We don't include them in our groups because we don't feel like they are down with us.
Understandable.
Right.
So
And
I can see why they feel
the way I
oppressed.
feel about that as far as like saying people ain't black or whatever. In this case, she ain't. I mean, she actually really is.
Not though. Right.
But I don't subscribe to that if you're, mixed race, that you're not black.
I mean, that was more towards like the Kiki White shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is it comes down to the person. and that's usually what it is the person be flip flopping like
well, and that's
on it's a case by case basis, but they be the ones that be flip flopping.
Well, and let's be honest. So the whole pro black thing, I think that's a separate conversation. But Malcolm X was biracial, so we can't sit up here and say that that you're not included in certain things. I think when you do not subscribe or when you're not secure in your own identity, then I think it leaves room for that to be open. And like when it comes to being biracial, I mean, there are going to be situations where maybe you don't feel black enough or maybe you don't feel white enough. But at the same time, as you talk about the oppression, which that's not even oppression. That's just conflict. Like you feel conflicted. Like there's a conflict with your identity or who you identify with. But you also need to talk about the privilege that comes along with you being biracial as well, where you can be in multiple groups, multiple conversations, multiple rooms, where as a lighter skinned black man, you may have a better opportunity at a job or better opportunity at getting into a college or better opportunity or whatever because of what you look like. You just gave us some game. I didn't know that Howard was originally only designed for lighter skinned African Americans or black men, you know what I mean? So in that's a distinct advantage. You know what I mean? So we can't that's one thing I don't like is when people talk about they always want to bring about what's wrong, but then you don't talk about how you have benefited from that as well.
Correct.
And I can identify with that because at the end of the day, I will never tell somebody's experience is not real. Never tell them that. If that's your experience, that's your experience. But at the end of the day, you have to get the whole 360 or the whole 180 view of what it is as that person.
Reality.
Right, exactly.
And
if that's
it's not the oppression Olympics. It ain't who the most oppressed. It's about tearing down these narratives. And I understand what everybody's individual experiences are, but we still need to get to the root of these narratives and eradicate them, period.
That's right.
But if you even look at history, has being biracial, has it stopped you from getting anything outside of what we have already identified as being oppressed? So in slavery days, no. In slavery days, you got more privileges because of your lighter skin. And going all the way through the brown paper bag test, like what CT said, you got more privileges. So when you're trying to compare yourself to a black person that has a darker skin, we already know just in the US and globally, darker skin usually equates to you being lower on the totem pole. So you trying to compete with a black person about who is more oppressed, it doesn't. That's not the conversation. The conversation here is that when we're talking about colorism, that is something that divides us. We're trying to find ways to unify. That's exactly when you try to compare brown skinned girl to Yellabone or light skin, when you say I am a Yellabone woman, you have there in itself separated yourself from every other black woman that says that they are either brown or dark or whatever, because you have created a whole category in black women to yourself that you feel like you are entitled to. When we say brown skinned girl, like Beyonce, brown skinned girl, brown is a shade that covers the whole spectrum, whether you are light brown, medium brown, dark brown, whatever it is. And that was an
because
expression.
we all in words to them. Correct. Is the point.
Exactly.
Correct. So the point is you cannot say I'm trying to unify, but then you separate yourself away from other black women, and then what it makes it seem like is you are trying to separate yourself from your blackness, because instead of you identifying as black, you are identifying yourself as yellow, or you are identifying yourself as red. You want to identify yourself as anything but black, and that's what I have the issue with. And if you want to be black, then be black, but you can't be skipping and jumping and doing the double dutch on one day you want to be black, the next day you want to be light, or one day you want to be Dominican, the next day you want to be dark skinned. You can't do that.
Especially when facing charges criminally.
Well, white people, the way they look at you is you black.
Yep. Come on.
And you going to jail. So you gotta I just think we have been taught to hate our skin for so long that and I think we might have to have this conversation on a totally different day, but black men, and y'all gonna hate me, I don't care. black men have fought for Latino women to be black for so long.
You a simp, blood.
Hey, you can call me a simp all you want. Call me a simp all you want. But we are so black men gotta understand in hip hop and music, we are the gatekeepers. We've been the gatekeepers for a long time. And we have let a lot of people in that were not from the culture that wanted to embark or intake or take advantage of the culture, all because we wanted to give them a pass. Iggy Azalea is a perfect example. There would be no Iggy if there was no T.I.
I was about to say you talking about J-Lo.
I'll talk about J-Lo too. When I'm thinking about people, J-Lo was one of them too.
He's talking about Pun and Fat Joe and all that.
I just want to put a side note in about J-Lo, although I'm not capping for her at all because I get completely that side of it. You ask what we do have to respect separately from just the skin conversation is that there is an element in music, in hip hop, where the African and Latino cultures created from the disco as the origin of hip hop.
Absolutely.
So there is a relationship there. So J-Lo, if you go back to In Living Color, was her intro into that culture. So I don't like to just now she is very stardom now. So if you're introduced to her like Selena and after, you're going to have a different impression of her relationship to Black culture than you do if you go all the way back to her being a fly girl. So I just want to put that out there. But she is not a Black woman.
No. And I don't really have an issue with J-Lo herself because you're right. Because Latinas and Latinos had a very integral part in the beginning of hip hop. But I have an issue when Black men or the gatekeepers use her as an image.
Yes.
And then then push Ashantis or the people that write the music to the side.
Yeah.
That's the issue that I got. I don't have an issue with J-Lo.
That's the part.
I'm just we gotta fight for our own women the same way that we fight for other women.
Fight for us.
Period.
Because T.I., I mean, there's plenty of Black women, and T.I. is now on his pro-Black tip that he could have elevated to put in a spot other than Iggy Azalea. I don't see what talent did she have to get put in that spot.
That was a fail.
None.
Other than what she
wanted to go.
She was
off
marketable.
Of a gimmick. He wanted to flip a gimmick.
He knew
and
that he knew that white people would buy her.
She's marketable.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yep.
That's it at the end of the day.
So
yeah.
Right.
Also, I feel like another thing is when it's like, oh, is there the space for light skinned women to be uplifted? Definitely, but I feel like when you try to compare it to dark skinned women getting uplifted, we ain't been uplifted ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like to be like, well, we need something too. Like I feel like that's how you white people be. Like when they be like, well, we don't have our own channel. Like you got all the other ones. Shit.
Yeah, that argument that we don't have white entertainment television.
Right. Like everything is white entertainment television.
Fox, CBS, PBS,
all of that. Like,
the whole nine. So why do you need your own separate channel?
Right.
Yeah.
And why do we need a channel?
But it's just like Stephanie said, it only comes up when the conversation around a controversy. It doesn't come up on a regular basis.
Right.
Just like All Lives Matter wasn't a thing until Black Lives Matter was a thing. So it's
that's how I feel like people be trying to All Lives Matter a situation. Like, damn.
Yeah. Well, because and that one's a little bit different, but I think
that's used to shut it down.
Well, I think
that matter down.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's what they be trying to shut us down. Like when we say something about a brown skinned woman getting slighted or whatever, it's like, well, what about us?
What about light skin? I think it really comes down. People just don't like being excluded.
And I think period. Look at me.
But it's funny because in every other race or culture, there's exclusion. Except for us. We're supposed to be the ones that are all encompassing, all inclusive, let everybody take, profit, do whatever, and then we end up getting the short end of the stick.
Like she said, and the gays.
Just to let you know, I am thrown in a big box of shit. Just to understand.
Yeah, when the judge hugged, was that Kyle Rittenhour or who was that? Who was that white person?
The Dallas, the one that happened in Dallas.
Yeah, the judge hugging him and man, the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, what's next, bro?
Hold on. Is there any more comments, statements, questions? No?
I was going to say, I'm going to put my kids to sleep. I got one sleep in my arm. My arm about to fall asleep.
All right. Well, we can let you go with 10 to them. We appreciate you hopping on. I think we're gonna
Thank you for
Photo
having
B
me.
had one
You
more.
got some good game.
Yes,
All
right,
absolutely.
man.
Shout out to
Y'all
Howard.
take care.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Shout out to
Bye-bye.
Howard. All right.
Yeah, that was some good information.
Okay, Photo B.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say was when you brought up the like Malcolm X being biracial, and essentially what I was going to say was that different biracial kids have different upbringings.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not necessarily their fault how they view certain things. They have that responsibility kind of goes on their parents and their surroundings as they grew up. You know what I mean? A mixed kid with a black dad, white mom in the hood is going to be raised differently than a mixed kid with a black dad, white mom in the hills.
Right.
Because they have certain different things. I don't know if anybody else here watches the show Big Mouth on Netflix. You see the newer season?
Yeah.
When she was talking about how her parents or her mom's white and her dad's real whitewashed and how she even going to the cousins and you're like, yo, like you're not being raised the way that you should be raised as a black woman. So certain things aren't on them because it's like, how do you get out of that training that you've been through as a child to your parents? So it's like I'm saying, it's not really their fault.
I feel like with anything else, like how we say, even with trauma, like at some point you old enough to learn for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you are an adult now living in this world. Like you see, you know what I mean? You hear what people are saying. You watch the news. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like at some point you as an adult need to be able to understand the issues and actually learn for yourself. Because I mean, I tell the same thing to white people. They didn't grow up knowing, but shit, figure it out, learn.
Well, still, but like even still, like you have like if you get raised a certain way, and people like some of us will look at them as whitewashed. A lot of times they're either not going to be included into certain groups, or they're going to be afraid to even try to join those groups because they feel like they can't be joining those.
But you don't have to join the groups to understand the history and the premise of these narratives.
You
and
have
shit.
to care about those things. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
you have to actually care. If you don't care, then I mean,
well, but
but if it's like if you can't be joined into certain groups, and it's like how can you be taught these things?
See, this is the
that people aren't including you in.
The thing is, it's twofold. Either you're dope as a person and they bring you in and then you learn that way, or if you want to be included in something that you're not involved in, then go do the work to get educated on that so you can be relatable. You know what I mean? You can't just consistently be like, I'm not included because I don't know what's going on. But if you're one of the things that I always tell my BM is, I wanted my kids to grow up in a black private school, right? Because in that school they get everything I didn't get. They get the history. They get to see who we are. They get to see all the HBCUs, right? They get to learn the history of those schools, which is advantageous to them because they get the knowledge of who they are. They get the knowledge of the inventors, of the Basquiat's, of the Jay-Z's, of all those guys, right?
Right.
You know, so it's crazy. Like for myself, because I didn't have it, I took the responsibility to put my children in position to know who we are.
Right.
Right. And so with other adults, people always talk about how jobs work and so on and so forth, but no one taught me about stocks. So yada, yada. After 18, it's your responsibility to go learn. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, you got to stop blaming other people for having lack of knowledge. If you care enough about something, you'll educate yourself so that you can be impact or be a part of. And that's just how I feel as an adult. I think that's part of the accountability of being a grown person. We just said a 24-year-old could be with a 36-year-old with lack of that experience, right? That's a totally different world. But you know what I'm saying? If you put in the work, I feel like.
And I think what Photo B's trying to say is, I think what you're saying is exactly why we had issues with the song. Is as a black community, we're in our generation trying to find ways to come together. So like I remember growing up, if you were black and watch anime, you weren't black. Like, oh, you're white, you're Asian, whatever. Or if you skateboarded, oh, you're not black. That's not what black people do.
Black.
So we were always looking for something to divide us, or if you don't fit in this box of black, then you're not black. And reality is black comes in totally different shades, shapes, colors, whatever. So if I'm whitewashed, but I still have black skin, that doesn't mean that I'm not black. And I think we as a community need to be a little bit more accepting of all of black, light, to the dark, smart to the dumb, all of us. But the problem is when people within the community do things like what she did, you're separating yourself. We didn't separate you. You did it. You made it seem like, oh, I'm different than y'all. I'm not black. And anti-blackness is something I have no tolerance for. So when somebody is perpetuating that, then it's like it's trash. We're trying to include you and you're trying to exclude yourself. So I think like in those situations where there's biracial people, where they are both black and white and they don't feel like where they fit in, totally get that. But we got to stop using the word oppressed. That's not being oppressed.
It's not being oppressed.
If I go to a college, if I go to a college and I don't get into the chess club because I don't know chess or because I can't relate to anybody that's in the chess club,
that's exactly what
I'm not.
You're
that's
not being oppressed. That's because
I
you
just
don't
have
have the
nothing in
knowledge
common,
of chess.
right? So if I am even if I'm black and I'm a Republican, and if I come into the space with a bunch of black people that aren't identified with that, if they don't identify with you, it's not because they're oppressing you. It's because they don't share the same values that you do. So I think as a biracial person, if you want to identify as black, then you have to then show black culture and black values that you are trying to get into the group of, because black, like I said, black people come in different shapes. Like if you're trying to get into the Nation of Islam, you can't be a Christian and coming in saying, Jesus and this and this and this and that. Conform. They're going to be like, no, this is not what we believe. So you either get with the program or you're not in. And I think we have to understand that you're not going to fit in every room.
Yeah.
And nor are you supposed to.
And it's not, to me, fitting in the room is not necessarily about what you're into, your interests or your likes or your dislikes. We talking about the core values.
Core values, right.
And if you coming in and you perpetuating these narratives, or you don't see the problem with, or I don't understand, or you don't care, we're not tolerating that no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ignorance is not tolerated no more.
Right. And I think you're talking about the people that are just trying to find where they fit in. Mm-hmm. And some people are like, they don't have the patience to deal with that at the time.
Yeah.
So, and those black people, for the black people that don't have time for other black people, trash to me, period. If they're trying to find out where they fit in or where they identify or their culture, at the same time, it's not other people's job to teach you about where you come from. But at the same time, I think we need to, like what Steph said, we need to have a little bit more patience with ourselves.
Yeah. It kind of goes on to the same thing that J. Cole said to old girl, talking about, you can't be mad, instead of be mad at me, educate me.
Right. Yeah, but you also got to be comfortable with the other person saying no, because they may be tired.
That's the hard part, man.
Because
they can say no, or the other part of it is be teachable.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
because instead of a song, it could have been a DM.
So the whole part, bro.
Oh, we.
All right. Oh, yeah, we were going to do... Okay, so we're going to move on to the... Question of the day. Question of the day. Let's go.
Question of the day. So, speaking of relationships, what is the pettiest reason that you have broken up with somebody?
The pettiest reason?
I mean, we should start with King Petty.
Broken up with or stop talking to somebody?
Both. Either one.
Oh, he got a list.
He got a list. He got to think hard.
I do.
Wow.
I do have a list. I was talking to this girl, right?
Hold on. Can we guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we guess?
Go ahead.
You want to guess?
Do I want to guess
about his reason?
The pettiest reason?
Yes, because he's King Petty.
You're never gonna guess.
I'm never gonna guess.
Try it. I would love to hear you try to out petty me right now. You have a guess?
It must be a really petty reason.
What's your guess?
I was gonna.
She wore mismatched socks.
That's pretty petty. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't have a guess.
Oh, come on, Steph. You got to guess. I was gonna guess that she gained weight.
Oh my God.
That's my guess.
That's a good one, but that's
not the petty.
Her second toe was longer than the big toe.
She had French fry toast?
We would have never dated in the first place. I broke up with this chick. Well, we were talking, so I stopped talking to her because every time music came on in the car, she would sing the wrong lyrics. And I could not do music.
I didn't know it had to do with music.
Bro,
what more do you want?
Bro, the straw on the camel's back was, remember when Push It to the Limit came out? Push it to the limit, I'm pushing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was singing, push it to the levee, push it to... I'm like, where is the water? Where is the water? Where is the water? I dropped her out. I never talked to her again.
I forward to the river.
Bro, I couldn't.
Wow.
I could. And she only ate chicken strips and Alfredo wherever we went. You know? hella. You're a grown woman, and all you eat is chicken strips and Alfredo, and you get all the words to the songs wrong. That was it. That was enough. That was enough for me. The push it to the levee was it. We went out 4 times. She ordered chicken strips and Alfredo.
Well, at least she knew what she wanted to eat.
Bro.
Hey, you know what? Because I'm like, dang, I used to always be like, take me to Fridays because I was finna get them chicken strips, okay?
Chicken strips and
Sorry.
Alfredo. Everywhere we went.
All in my 20s, when I went on dates, that's all women ordered.
Chicken strips and
It
Alfredo?
was chicken strips and fries.
Hey, bro, it always hit. That was
Don't
me.
ask me to go
I
to
was that
expensive
girl.
restaurants and then buy chicken
Well,
strips
in my
and
20s, I
Alfredo.
wasn't going to no expensive restaurants. It was
I used to
Fridays,
ask niggas to take me to
Applebee's.
Fridays. I was so basic.
Hey, Fridays was a spot back in the day.
It was.
I didn't
to
go
be
to that one
poppin'.
off. Did I go to one off? Yeah, I did go to one off a half a little bit.
Elk Grove one used to be popping.
Elk Grove was popping.
Elk Grove used to be popping.
Elk Grove.
That
was popping.
bar used to be popping. Quit playing.
Yeah, and it was right down the street. It was close to the house. Oh yeah. All right, who's next?
Photo B.
Yeah, he's also really petty.
I'm actually not. Like, I really can't think of a reason. Like,
Oh,
a petty.
come on.
I can't.
He's like,
I
real
literally
shit.
can't.
All
Real
right, I'll
shit, guys.
go.
I've never
I'll
committed
go.
to a real relationship. So this
I'll
is
go.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like,
He's trying to make sure for the love of Photo B happens.
No. You guys understand?
He's a good guy.
First off, I've only been in 2 relationships since I graduated high school.
Okay.
Right? So anything else in between, it just ran its course. I don't think it was like, I'm gonna stop talking to you for like this dumb reason and shit like that. It was more like, you just stopped. I just can't think of it. I literally cannot think of reasons, like petty reasons why.
He found somebody else. That was his reason.
You can't think of no.
He moved
Okay,
on.
what was the most interesting reason why you stopped talking to somebody? Maybe not petty.
Why
maybe
I chose
why
to stop
you
talking
stopped,
to
yes.
somebody?
we go. Okay, for time's
come back-
sake,
yeah, come
we're
back
gonna
to
let
me,
you
come
think
back to
about
me,
it.
come back
Steph,
to me.
you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Because of what I saw on social media. Now, not dating. This is talking. So we were talking. Met in Vegas, whatever. Back in the day.
You met
When I
somebody
was
in
doing-
Vegas?
When you go to Vegas, yeah.
And you brought her home?
No,
Oh, okay.
we were talking.
Okay, got
Right?
you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then you know how you go down to social media's feed and you start seeing certain stuff. And
I do that all the time.
Yeah, man.
I do all the time.
She just wasn't living right, man.
Oh my god.
Didn't have no bed in the bedroom.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go, bro.
All you see is a sheet and a pillow,
Hey, like-
and you ain't even got no mattress.
You gotta go.
Nah, man.
you got- you-
Clothes
you-
all over the floor.
How was you in Vegas?
dirty
pictures?
mirror?
How was you in Vegas?
No, she lived in Vegas.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
She lived in Vegas.
She wasn't the one
Wow.
for you.
No, so I was like, yeah,
I'm
we
like,
ain't.
damn, I know somebody who lived in Vegas too. What's her name?
Oh, you a dirtbag.
She got kids?
I'm done. I'm done.
There's a lot of women in Vegas that got kids.
I know,
Come
but
on now.
What's your last name? What's the first name start with?
We gonna talk about it after that. I ain't gonna put
What's
on
the first name start with? What's the
Hey,
first
cause
letter?
Do you
like-
still
he's
know
like-
her?
Oh, and I'm sorry.
Because
And
he's like, you know what? I'm talking to a girl just like that right now.
This was the
Oh,
cherry
yeah.
on top. Her middle name was I can't say her first name. Middle name
You say the
was
first
Marie.
letter.
Was Marie.
What's the first letter?
Every girl I meet that has the middle name
Trash.
Marie,
You gotta
if
get her
it's
outta
two
here.
first names,
Gotta
I
get
can't
outta
rock
here.
with
What's
you.
the what's
Gotta
what's
get
the
out.
what's the
I just
what's
can't
the
do
what's the letter of the first name?
L.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm
Because
Yeah,
the middle names matched. You guys are getting close.
Yeah, we're
No,
getting close.
because I didn't know her middle name.
Okay.
I just know the first
For
name.
some, I don't know, and it's my experience. If your middle name is Marie, I'm sorry, but the bottom line is,
Marie, Cherie, or Nicole.
if it's two first names,
Yeah, Marie, Cherie, or Nicole.
If
You
and
it's
gotta-
two
Marie is
first
one of them.
names,
Yeah,
I'm
don't
weak.
trust them.
and you ain't got no bed,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah.
You ain't got no bed.
Crystal Marie, Ashley Marie.
Yeah.
Shanika Marie, Tasha Marie. I know so
So
many
anybody
Maries.
Marie, okay.
Ebony Marie.
No. In conjunction with what I saw on social media,
Okay.
But isn't that a common practice? Like if you start talking to somebody,
you have to go down. To
don't
social media.
you just wait till their friends start commenting and be like, aha, y'all seem like y'all know each other. You know what I mean?
I like to go just kind of see what your mindset is like,
and how you living,
I can't believe she posted a sheet on the blanket.
bruh.
A sheet on the floor.
No, it was like a selfie, and you know how you can zoom in a little bit and see what's in the background. How do you take a selfie and your mirror is dirty? There's clothes all over the place. Like you ain't got nothing together. You didn't clean.
Man.
You didn't clean the
You
mirror.
at
like,
least got to kick them to the side.
that just shows me like
you ain't
feel
even
me?
care.
At least put them in the corner.
or,
You know what I'm saying?
or,
Get the shit out.
angle
At
it
least
right.
have
or
your background
take the
looking
selfies
cool.
when
You
you
ain't-
are out and about. Like go into what's someone that got like a DSW, like a Nordstrom's, like going to a nice, nice place that got some nice mirrors, nice lighting.
Yeah.
Not your house with stains all on the mirror.
That bothered him a lot.
Bruh.
He gave her a
No,
DSW.
no. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you.
Got no furniture.
I'm gonna tell you.
Fuck you in
I'm gonna
that,
tell you why.
studio.
I'm gonna tell you why it bothered me, because it shows your self value to me. Because if
living
you're
in a
willing to
hostel.
upload that and not care what people think, I don't want to see the rest of the house.
Your attention to detail is terrible.
I don't want to see the kitchen.
Oh,
I don't want to see the kitchen. I don't want to see the
real.
refrigerator. I don't want to see none of that. No, I'm good.
I have OCD, so
yeah, me too.
I can't.
And again, this is talking stage. This is not in a relationship. This is before we even get there.
Absolutely, because I felt the same way every time she sang songs and the words were wrong. I was like, you don't care about me.
I
Well,
feel like in the beginning talking stages, I'll drop somebody for any reason because I feel like I don't owe you nothing. I don't know you like that yet. We ain't invested. I don't owe you shit. So people be like, oh, why would you drop somebody that quick? You might, I don't know this motherfucker.
No, exactly.
Guess
Bye.
what? And I don't want to either.
But I get
That's
what
the easiest time to drop somebody.
I get what Rajeo's saying, because that shit, when people used to do the little Snapchats where they would have the
That's
music
my
playing
husband.
and then they would be wording and how can you word it and get them out and get the lyrics
Always
wrong
wrong.
And then post it.
and then post it?
and then post it.
You that confident?
The
My
audacity.
husband does that.
The blatant
all the
lies.
time.
Nah, I think I figured out mine.
All
No,
the
and you
time.
know what? While we on that, the other thing that I don't like.
Damn.
Listen, no.
let's talk
Listen,
about
we're
it.
gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't like when, if you got a gap or if you got something going on with your teeth, and then you posting videos. Listen,
Oh my.
and you trying to hide it. Just look, we gonna find.
Oh,
when I
yeah.
meet you, I'm gonna see it anyway.
Look,
and
look,
there's
Michael
not-
Strahan.
That happened to me before. Like, this motherfucker was missing his front tooth. Like, nigga, you do not meet somebody and not tell them your
No.
front tooth is
And
missing.
you know
like,
what?
you tell that shit ahead of time.
There's nothing wrong with it, but don't be on the video doing like this and taking pictures and hiding your teeth or barely, like when you talk, barely moving your lips, like this, and then when I see you, I'm gonna see it. Eventually, you're gonna smile, you're gonna laugh.
Teeth are important to a lot of people.
Just embrace you. I think what's attractive to me is embracing who you are,
Yeah.
and if that's who you are, I'm not mad at that. But when you try to hide it, yeah,
I've had to live with this look my whole life. I get it.
come on, man.
I get
You
it.
know.
Oh, I got the
My
attention.
reason is he spelled my name wrong. It's that
with
simple.
a PH.
No. If it was a PH, I probably could have took a PH.
Okay.
Because that's a normal.
How did he spell it?
He spelled it STIFFNEY.
Oh, oh,
Stephanie?
Stephanie?
Stephanie. I'm absolutely stifled at your spelling.
I was
Stephanie.
like,
Stephanie.
I was like, bruh, you are slow
What's up, Stife?
bruh,
as fuck.
bruh,
How you get stiffney?
Stephanie.
That's what
From
he's trying to
Nigga
do.
walk with a limp.
Like,
That's what he's trying to do.
what?
He was trying to get that stiff.
Bruh,
Trying to
did you
get
not
that-
play football and know how to play stiff arm?
I was like, nigga, don't ever,
Stephanie?
ever, don't
Oh,
don't
my
text me
Lord.
ever again.
Was
Don't
it a
call
gift?
me.
Oh, it
don't
was a
nothing.
text.
Huh?
It was a text.
Yo, yeah, people.
I don't
Stiff.
remember.
People do weird stuff, man. People
They
do
some dumb
people
shit.
do weird
Especially with
stuff.
spelling.
This was hella long ago. I mean, this
Nigga,
was
you
like,
could look at my profile and get the spelling right.
Well, this was
Man.
probably during the time. Maybe it was just like
no, this was before all that. This was like high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Still, bruh.
I just want to know where he actually seen it being spelled.
That's what I'm
that
gonna
way.
say. If you've
Like-
been in school, what woman or girl have you met that's been named Stephanie?
How you get
Bruh, just spell it out.
Stephanie
Sound it out.
and you get I was done.
Okay.
I was too through.
It
after
could have been
that.
at least like with a Y at the end with an E.
That's why I said I could have took the PH because people do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's usually the normal way to spell it.
Well, thank
But nigga,
God.
what?
Stephanie.
If it wasn't for him misspelling, then it may not have been a Stephen D'Angelo.
Right.
Who can spell?
Praise God.
Well, when you
And
tell a
he's-
shout out to the
nigga,
Steph.
when you tell a nigga that your name, when you tell a nigga your name is Stephanie with an F, and that's what they come up with.
Stephanie with an F. So start with an F. Stephanie with an F. Like so felony.
Festany.
Like this, what you came up with, bruh?
Stiff.net. All right. Who did Photo B?
So I think mine has to be the fact that her house was hella cold when I spent the night.
Is what?
Her house was hella cold when I spent the night. Like she had a shit like at 58 degrees.
Oh.
And I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like I didn't want to wake up and see my breath.
What do y'all feel like is a reasonable temperature?
Wait, hold on. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was she white?
No.
She's black?
Yes.
What?
I think she was mixed. But yeah.
This is white side. That's cool.
Yeah. She had,
What's
she had
a
air mattress
reasonable
too.
temperature?
You slept on the air mattress? Oh, hey, I'm not gonna lie.
But she had the sheets and the blanket
I'm
on
not
that
gonna
shit
lie,
too.
bro. I just got done talking to this chick, and her friend, I think it's another petty thing. Her friend like tried to talk to me. I went to the house. She had an air mattress on the floor, and I just walked out. I walked out, bro. Like
I ain't mad at the air mattress.
Hey, we been there.
Yeah, but you gotta let a
But
nigga
don't
know.
invite
you gotta
nobody
let
over.
a nigga know.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta be like, you cool with
At a time.
smashing on the air mattress?
What about the air couch?
Air couch? The one that you pump up with the bike?
Oh
Hell
my
no.
god! I think she took a chance of thinking that once you got there that you probably wouldn't leave.
Who, me?
And did it have the
For
motor in
sex?
the did it have the motor in the actual thing?
Those are the good ones.
The
are
ones
good
that you
ones.
pull
Yeah.
and then it blows
No,
itself
because
up.
I can understand.
No,
that-
you got like a motor in it.
I
And
can
you turn
understand.
it on.
I can understand
Yeah,
the air
actual
mattress.
thing.
The
Not
last.
like-
No,
not
yeah,
like
some of them got
yeah.
one when you pull it, then some you got to turn
like a
it.
life raft and shit.
Yeah, some shit like that.
They can
I
pull it
can,
out.
I can understand the air mattress like when-
For
the last house
emergency
I bought, when I
purposes
moved in,
only.
I didn't take any other furniture, so I had an air mattress for 2 weeks.
When I had an air mattress, I didn't invite nobody over.
Yeah.
I did. I let them know, like, yo, there's an air mattress over here.
That's when you gotta have hella pillows.
We
and
gotta
shit,
have
like a
dinner on it. We gotta have dinner on this air mattress. We gotta sleep on this air mattress. And if you want to get down, it's all gonna be on the air mattress.
Hey.
And the TV's on the floor because that's all I got right now.
15 minutes later and shit, you feel your knee on the floor through the mattress.
And wait-
Don't
wait
have
a
no
minute.
hole in it. Hey, shout out to Air Mattress.
Yellow, wake up,
Hey,
shut up, like
hey,
that.
speaking of sponsorships, hey, Air Mattress, holla at us. Man.
I'm done.
Bro, I
All
bought an air mattress from Target. I got home, bro. It was packed with newspaper. Wasn't even no mattress in there.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
somebody
returned
stole
it,
it.
yeah.
Somebody stole it. You were saying what temperature do we set the house
Yeah,
at?
like what's a reasonable temperature?
I think
75.
it depends. I think it depends on if it's winter or
75.
summer. But I'm usually, anywhere between 73 and 75.
It's like 71 in here right now. I do between 68 and 71 usually.
Okay. I think during
This
the winter.
nigga said 75.
You
What?
would die, huh?
Like what?
Well,
75?
nah, I think upstairs because he rises, so I sleep
Thank
upstairs.
you.
So probably like 73.
Yeah, I'm like 71. 68, 71.
Why? What you got it at?
About I'll say 70.
70. I think
That's just a regular.
that's fair. Well, and then it depends on the kind of house you
This
got.
nigga said 75. He do got a hoodie on.
Hey,
right now.
but that be a
That's a
I think when
vacation summer
I
home
think
with
when you live with
75.
the spouse or live with the significant other,
Ooh.
the first week or two when you move in, that'd be a
Man.
problem.
And my husband, he be on it. Like I feel like he be tracking everything I do. Like I be like, God,
you turn it
damn. Like what's going?
Nigga, it's
Down to
70.
the-
It's 71.
Down to
I don't
the-
like being cold in
bruh,
my
down
house.
to the toilet paper. I'm in there just that's enough. I'm like, damn, my nigga, how can you hear it? Like, God damn.
Nah,
Oh,
I don't
my
like being
God.
cold in my house. I don't. I don't like waking up cold because I don't get out of my damn bed. I like doing shit. I got a little space heater in my room because for some reason they get hella hot upstairs, so they turn the heater off quick.
He
So I
rises,
got my shit at 85 in my room. It don't get that hot, but I make sure my shit warm because I don't like just waking up and all of a sudden like, nah, I don't want to get out.
Yeah, I got you.
No,
that's
I
why
feel it.
I had to get the Wi-Fi
Nah, I put
thermostat,
a
man, so I
fire.
can
I got
change
a
this shit on my
fireplace in my
phone.
bedroom.
I
so
seen
don't
that.
even-
Let it warm
yeah.
up before you get out. Yeah.
Yeah, on my way home, I'll be checking the temperature. I'll be turning it
Yeah.
up, or if I'm on my bed, if it's too cold, I turn it up on my phone.
But that's why I put the
That's-
fireplace.
I don't like getting
That's
up.
why I put the fireplace in there, so I don't have to run the heat.
Oh, there you go.
Hell yeah.
I put the
See,
fireplace
Steph
in my
brought up another
bedroom.
good question.
So
Which way the toilet roll go? Over or under?
Over.
it go
Over.
Yeah, I do over.
All right, cool.
we can all stay together.
Look, I'm just saying.
Who puts the toilet?
My ex, Haley, did that shit all the time.
Dang, you
You
put
know,
her on
pe-
blast.
Yep, because she don't listen to us. Y'all about to put this on the clip? Cool. She put it underneath, and every time I would see it, I'll flip it over. I'll be like, nah. Every time.
That's
I felt
Get your shit
disrespected.
together, Haley.
I do too.
I felt disrespected. I was like, look,
It's
this is
just-
my
you-
throne.
You pull from the closest end and you
Right,
you know
and just
what
put it
I
out,
mean?
pow. Versus trying to get underneath.
She like to do this.
Yeah.
Like, hell nah,
Nah,
right over.
I do
pow.
over. We do over.
Over.
People who
The
put,
debate is over. It's over.
people who put it on the under don't wipe good.
Oh my God.
Well, what? Okay, I ain't gonna talk about that. We had a conversation off air about what Steph said last time. I think that'll probably get posted on the behind the scenes clip. All right, so we're gonna go into internet wins again.
Let's go.
Hold on, let me get my air horn. Internet wins again. The segment of the show that we talk about the most interesting topics that ran across the internet. First, we are going to talk about the versus recap between Ashanti and Keyshia Cole. How do we think? How did we like it? What was the result?
Hilarious.
Who do we think won?
I didn't even watch it.
Ashanti won.
Clearly.
I liked it. I hated that Keyshia Cole was late. I was hoping that she was gonna come with some kind of something happened, but it literally they said she didn't come out because her camera was blurry on her side, and that really pissed me off further.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they said it was because her camera. Remember when Bruh came out and he was putting his hand in front of the.
Oh,
That's why she was there. I'm thinking she wasn't there.
No, she
yet.
was there.
She
Yeah.
was there, but her camera was blurry.
Yeah.
Oh.
That made me mad as
She gave
hell.
some half-hearted apology.
That pissed me off further.
Oh, it was an explanation. It
I
wasn't
didn't
an
know that.
apology.
Because she was like, you don't know what it took for me to get here. I'm thinking some other shit happened. No, they said her camera was blurry
Well,
and the sound was bad.
it might have been both because Ashanti was saying that she was on her way at the beginning. We don't know what time she got there, but bottom line, she was late.
Exactly. But the reasoning really had irritated me. But aside from that, she showed up. I mean, she just showed up and was real Oakland with it. The way she sat down, she had an attitude. That's how Oakland women are. So I mean, wasn't nobody shocked, but it was still annoying.
Shout out to Oakland. Oakland, we love you.
But yeah, she was late.
Yeah, she
had an attitude.
She kind of took all the energy that 40 and Short just gave us from out here, and then she kind of just
Man,
crushed it up in a ball and threw it in the trash can.
Yeah,
Ashanti got tired of her ass towards the end.
she did.
I was
did.
weak.
Because the professionalism, right? You can
Right.
see the two different levels of professionalism between the two of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, to me, it was a blowout. I don't even think it was close.
Really?
Yeah, only because the way that it started, I already didn't want her to win.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Because the way she cared about our time and the way that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to end up doing other stuff. I'm looking around now. I'm in studio sessions now.
Didn't
so-
want to do a break. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's what killed me.
that's
was
just
doing the
like
break.
black people
Yeah.
to show up late.
and then ask for a break.
Man, because I've
Well, that was
I've
both-
been late to work, got there at 9 o'clock, and it still took my 10 o'clock break.
Yeah.
But
That's what we do.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought it was
Shit on
good.
company time.
it was good.
It was a good battle. I think at first she did kill the vibe, and she had a little bit of attitude. But as we got into the battle, it started getting better. I thought Keyshia actually the first 10 when we were keeping score, she was winning.
Well, I
But-
knew that was going to be the case, but I was like, she not going to have enough to last into that second round.
But then when they did the break, that turned me off again, and then I just didn't care no more. And at that point, I just chalked it up to Ashanti. Even if I'm not just sure if Keyshia would have won anyway. Bottom line is, the Billboard scorecard was 12-10-3. It was Ashanti. I thought it was a close battle.
yeah, I
Not
definitely think it was
because
close.
I don't want to discount her attitude for the music that was playing,
I did.
but it did play a part in
I
it.
did.
Absolutely,
I did.
absolutely.
I just didn't like it because I think because I am involved so much in the music industry, like you do shit like that, they shut you down. You know what I'm saying? So I know that your fan base is the most important thing that you have, and
Right.
those people who show up for you, I just feel like it's hyper inconsiderate.
I mean, you got damn near 1 million people.
bro, just
Waiting,
just
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
I mean, how many times do we have to listen to Fat Joe?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Well, and I thought she was drunk when she first got down. I thought
they
she
said
was
she
drunk.
was.
I think she is drunk. Yeah. Okay.
They said she was.
She was
She was drunk, and then
You saw the cocaine pictures, the earbud pictures they tried to pass off as
Bruh, that was
cocaine.
stupid. That was so
stupid.
the
They obviously don't do coke.
Obviously, one of us does.
No. Come on.
Let's talk about me.
Okay.
the one thing that didn't make
It's
sense to me
nostrils,
is like I think the break
Sniff the whole damn thing at
the
once.
break turned me off a little bit, but when they started rushing,
Yeah.
Well, they
because
had
I
to-
was
they
like,
had to rush.
no,
They
IG
didn't.
gives you 4 hours.
They had bad information. Whoever gave them information saying that they didn't have time,
They had hella time.
yeah, somebody just had gave them because they thought that they was gonna get cut off.
That's what it was.
And
but
so they
my
had
thing
bad
is,
information.
Yeah, they weren't in danger of getting cut off because I was looking at the limit. I was like, they're not nowhere near 4 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you never know. Maybe Swiss had something to do. Maybe Tim had something to do.
Well, it might have had something to do with the
No.
sponsors.
Maybe
Maybe.
Ashanti actually had something to do. Maybe,
I don't think so.
maybe.
Well, but it was on East Coast time. So I think Ashanti was in. No.
It don't matter,
sure
man.
Ashanti was
Keysha
that.
Cole
No, but
killed
what
a
I'm saying
whole
is
hour
that
and some
night.
change.
Well, but Ashanti, she was late too.
I don't think she was. Well,
No, she was late.
I think she came out. I think she waited to come out because they were waiting for them to come out at the same time. And then once it was like, bro, this is getting ridiculous, she just went out.
I could have sworn when she got on, she said, "Sorry, I'm late, y'all."
Yeah, obviously, because she
waiting.
wasn't. Just because you're not on camera don't mean you ain't there. But I believe they was waiting because Keyshia's side was blurry,
Maybe,
and
yeah.
the sound or whatever. And
could
then
be.
finally, she just was like, "I'm gonna go out because people is fucking waiting."
Yeah. Either way, to me, it still ended up being a good.
Yeah,
battle. I just didn't
definitely.
like that they rushed. And yeah, if you're behind, you don't take a break. But
Yeah,
But-
that
but-
second half was the good hits. You know, of course, they saved the best hits for last. So then it was like, damn, y'all rushing through the best ones.
I didn't even really keep track of score because them rushing, and I was just like, all right.
I'm over it.
But it was good. It was a good battle. So, quickly, Drake mentioned that he would like to see a Usher versus Justin Timberlake. Who do we think? First, do we think it'll be a good battle?
What if we don't?
It will.
Yeah.
And two, who do we think would win?
Usher Raymond.
Usher Raymond. I mean, Justin Timberlake did have Timberland, but
Usher. Okay.
I probably have to go with Ush.
Usher too.
Well,
That's no
So-
disrespect
so-
to JT.
Does Justin get to use NSYNC music?
Ooh.
that's cheating.
that's cheating.
That's not.
He
in the
would
group. He's in the group.
because
I know, but that's cheating. I don't think Usher
He's-
can beat.
he's in the
NSYNC.
group.
Usher can't beat.
no, I
NSYNC.
feel like but I feel like
All right. I don't think so.
if we had the producer battles where they was using songs that they wrote for other people, why wouldn't he be able to use songs from when he was in a group?
producers and we write for other people. We don't usually perform.
He was still in a group though.
He was in the group. Does that change the result?
It definitely changes the results.
It does.
It changes
And
the
it would
results.
bring a
Because once they hit the bye, you can
and
play that last.
That versus
It's
will
over.
will
Oh.
definitely bring a whole demographic that probably has not
Absolutely.
been on there before.
Absolutely.
It's
I
a-
still say Usher, but
Because I mean,
Yeah.
like, who came out first? NSYNC or Ush?
I think it's
NSYNC
about the
a little
same
bit.
time. I want to say it's NSYNC probably, but I think they came around about the same time.
And
But I
then
mean, if
JT
you gonna get on verses against Usher, you got to use your R&B stuff. You can't go back
Nah.
into
Can't use
your
pop.
your
You got to
your
try
pop
to
bag.
smoke Usher because you
That ain't
you
fair to go
have
back
to use
into your pop
you have to
bag.
use the pop
No.
bag because you got to smoke Usher.
Yeah.
You have to.
That's
You
the
gotta
arena.
use your
That's
pop
where
bag.
Usher can't compete. So
Right.
I would definitely go pop bag.
Facts.
Yeah.
I would definitely. I mean, he would get in his 2020 bag.
But I feel
for
like
sure.
that's not fair because when you decided to come over to the black side, that's the side. That's what you should use for the battle.
Shit,
but
we
he
still
gotta
fucked
use-
with him. What are you talking about?
He got to use his catalog. That's in
yeah,
his
it's
catalog.
catalog.
Nah, that ain't
So-
fair.
But how long of a gap? How long of a break did he take?
It wasn't really no break.
So, but how was that any different than like when Jadakiss and Fab when they battled? And Jadakiss was like, "I know you gonna go in your girl bag. You gonna go in your R&B bag. I'm going straight street all through." Fab played his girl stuff, and you have to be confident in your catalog. I'm not going to switch up my catalog
That's still all
because
his
of what
catalog.
you play. I'm going to stick to what I do best. And pop bag is where I'm at. I'm playing all my pop music.
Especially if you invite me to a verse and you agree to it.
Because I feel like when you do that, it's not really comparable.
I feel like it's comparable. I feel like it's comparable
Pop
because
to
like
R&B.
Well, I don't think he would play all 20 pop songs.
No, I'm
but
just,
I'm saying
but what
that
I'm
he
saying
would,
is,
yeah.
what I'm saying is, what we said initially is that he should be able to play whatever because he did do the work. If we're gonna go stand by that, then he should be able to play whatever.
It'll be interesting to see if, I don't think this battle's going to happen. If it does happen, if he gets clearance to play the NSYNC songs.
And Sync definitely will let him play those records.
Because
Hell yeah.
then that would then, and
That
you
would
got
then
to also
open
think,
up the NSYNC catalog
well,
all over.
but you would also stop them from doing maybe a group battle. Because they could definitely do an NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys or something later.
I don't think that will stop him though.
I think they'll still do
It may
I
not.
think
Yeah.
they'll do it because
Because JT, I think that JT and NSYNC are smart enough to come to some type of compromise where you can play these 3 songs.
Right.
But I feel like it's the demographic. Does this demographic want to see NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys? As a whole, I would. I would.
But
As a
again,
whole?
if Versus is trying to get, you know what? It really depends on what they're trying to do. If they're trying to stay to the culture, no.
Exactly.
But if they're trying to expand and get
Eventually they're
into
gonna
more of
expand.
a, yeah.
Eventually they're going to expand because somebody else is going to try to before.
Well, they're already doing Versus Sports, which I think is terrible.
Yeah, that's.
It was whack.
We agreed that was a trash
Trash.
idea.
I don't like it.
No.
It's honorary trash as fuck for sure.
But I mean,
they're trying to stay in the culture. They're not trying to go outside the music. They're still staying with our culture music, but
trash.
sports is still our culture.
We'll go dump for
would
dump.
y'all feel
I don't want
away
to see
if
highlight
they?
for highlight.
But would y'all feel away if they started to expand it into pop,
Nope.
country?
I would rather
whatever.
them do it than somebody else try to do it themselves.
I want to have something for ourselves. That's
Yeah.
just kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
If they, I'm just saying, if
Maybe
they
you
don't
have
do it,
your
somebody
own-
else will.
Maybe you have your own. You split off and have somebody else run it, and you do a versus pop. But you keep the original verses to us.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this. I want to keep. I want to keep something to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I feel a little bit selfish about it. Like this, our shit.
Yeah.
We started this shit and it blew up, and I just feel like it's dope. But
and it has been dope. And shout out to them because they've been getting us a lot of content to talk about. So we gonna shout out the verses. Valentine's Day versus coming up.
Say what?
Quick predictions. Valentine's Day versus. Who do we want to see on Valentine's
Steph,
Day?
what do you say?
Valentine's Day.
he didn't say times, but I
It
was
sound
gonna
like
let
it
it
said
slide.
times.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
gonna let
you
it
said
slide.
There you go.
times.
Valentine's
There you go.
It sound like you
Day
said times.
versus. Who do we want to see?
Definitely R&B. I would say, wasn't there the rumor of Drew Hill versus Jodeci?
I think that's what people wanted to see.
I would see that one
Okay.
for Valentine's.
Drew
Day.
Hill
'Cause I
versus
wanna see-
Jodeci. I can see that. The Cisco versus the KC and his yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what it means.
I can see that.
The
Okay.
Hoo-Yay battle.
Who would I like to see? I would like to see like Tank versus Case or something like that.
Case ain't got enough.
But Tank versus
I would say
Tank versus Tyrese.
Bro, but Tyrese.
Oh, that
he
would
was
be
on my
Tank
mind.
versus Tyrese.
But Tyrese is just.
Yeah.
That would be ugly.
Yeah.
I think
Because
Tank.
Tank does not really fuck with Tyrese
They-
like that.
Well,
You have to TGT. Yeah.
I went on.
What about Tank versus
with
Genuine?
my-
Yeah, I was gonna say Tank versus
Well,
Genuine. would be
neither
a
of them
better
niggas
battle.
like that nigga.
Either.
No,
I
Tank
don't
and
like
Genuine are cool,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
still cool.
and
No,
and their catalogs match up.
Well, when we went on tour with TGT, I went to quite a few shows with my manager, and man, it was beefy the whole time with Tyrese.
Mhm.
He was such a problem child for those guys
because he's a damn
he's a-
drama
he's a
queen.
diva.
Mhm.
Yeah, diva. There you
Yeah,
go. That's
so-
a better word for it.
So I would love to see either one of those guys versus Tyrese because you would almost get not as intense as a Jeezy Gucci Man, but
it'll
you would
still
be
feel-
able to
it'll-
feel
It'll
that.
be shade.
It would be
It'd be very
It would
shady.
be it would be Brandy Monica.
It would be entertaining.
mean?
I don't think Tyrese has the. I don't think he has the catalog though.
Crazy.
That's why I said Genuine.
Genuine can
probably.
do it too.
Genuine
Tank.
and Tank would be a better battle.
But they're like they're brothers.
But that's the whole. That was the whole
That's
point
good.
of the
That's how
verses.
it was in the Bay.
You
Yeah.
ain't got to be enemies.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of verses was to celebrate each other. So yeah.
Who else R&B guys?
Well, we're definitely not going to see Usher versus Chris Brown. That's off the table. I wouldn't mind seeing a Chris Brown versus Drake. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't like that one because I don't like it's not evenly matched. I want to see R&B versus R&B.
Well,
I mean, Drake got a lot of.
Nah.
Well, okay. So who are you
It
saying
ain't.
for who? It ain't for who.
He's not fully R&B, so I feel like there's just stuff that's. it
but
just
you don't
ain't
think
Chris
it'll
is
still
fully
be a
R&B?
good Valentine's Day?
Is Chris fully R&B?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
he is. I mean,
He
most
is R&B, but he has But he has a versatile catalog.
most R&B artists now is rappers anyway. It's really like that trip hop. Nobody's really singing no more.
There you
anyway.
go.
I feel
But
like Drake
I
and Chris
feel
Brown can
like
do this shit.
Drake
Trey
and Chris
Songz,
Brown,
Trey
no.
Songz and Chris Brown could do one.
No.
No.
I mean, Trey Songz would
Trey
get
Songz
killed.
got an incredible catalog, but I don't think
Not. I mean, I'm just saying, just for the sport.
For the
of it.
sport. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
You
I'm
said
just-
Drake and Trey Songz?
Trey
No,
Songz and
Chris.
Chris
Oh,
Brown.
Trey
okay.
and Chris. Well, Trey had his own issues.
Trey Songz and Eric Bellinger could probably do one.
Eric Bellinger would be a good matchup.
I don't like him.
What? That's my guy.
Yeah. You know what I would like to also see? I would like to see Black, but not for Valentine's Day. Black
Black
and somebody
and
match up with somebody.
Blast.
Who would you match up Black
Blast.
with?
Maybe
Who?
Bryson?
Blast.
You think so?
Oh, you said when you said Black, I'm like Black. I'm thinking boom
Somebody
like
black.
a NATO. I'm like Black.
Nah. Okay.
I don't know if Black is gonna be like because he's so one dimensional.
Not for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, he's
That's what I'm
so
saying.
one
I feel like going
dimensional.
against Ace, Boogie and Hoodie.
Yeah.
I want some nostalgia.
I think
Boogie Nights?
Usher. I'm sorry, Usher. Genuine and Tank would be a good battle.
or SWV and Escape.
Or a group.
That's
yeah.
legendary too. Like that would be
It is.
something
That
that
was
we
some
always talk
nostalgia.
about.
That'd be
That's what we
good.
always
Or the
talk
Drew
about.
Hill versus Joe.
Or
Hill
TLC, and
Baby.
who go against TLC?
Tony Braxton versus
It's not really good.
I saw that Tony
Who will go
Braxton
against
versus
Mary J.
Mary J. Blige, and I was like, nah, bro, Tony gonna
ain't
get
got
washed.
no chance.
Tony gonna
She
get
gonna get
washed.
wiggity
Who wants to hear that on Valentine's Day?
Nobody.
Who would y'all put against Mario?
I'm going down. Mario can go. Sorry,
You
bro.
see how he cheated Mario?
I'm hurt.
Oh, Marion. Oh, Marion and Mario.
Yeah, something like that.
Be two niggas in braids doing this shit.
Oh, we.
I rock with a Mario, but Mario, man, I can't rock with Mario.
I love
I feel like
alright.
Omarion is like man of the century.
He has like underground,
Yeah.
like his
He is like
mixtapes
he is
go
the
hard.
Man of the century.
I don't think he'll be able to
bro.
play those though, but
All
Yo,
right.
those things they slap. But the way he handled the whole baby mom situation,
That was.
I feel like he's
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
one of my top dudes alive.
I mean, because he's mastered the art of shutting the fuck up.
and not worrying about shit else.
I
to what's got
mean,
going on. So I
That's
feel him.
really not even, I won't even say that that's not
Unbothered.
commendable, but it's so unheard of nowadays for somebody to just not say shit that people are like amazed by it.
Well, speaking of Omarion, I know it's not on the docket, but just want to put this out there because I think we do need to keep track of it. The whole Raz B situation and the whole Chris Stokes situation. We're going to talk about some sexual allegations later, but just for the listeners, if you don't know what's going on, just kind of keep tabs on that. They're trying to expose Chris Stokes and his predatorial practices, and he keeps getting shut down every step of the way. So,
Because there's more. Chris Stokes has more money.
well, and the rumor is that a lot of the people that are around him, including B2K, supposedly are kind of not supporting it, but they're helping him by not wanting that information to get out. So,
I mean, it sounds like the same shit that happened with Pretty Ricky and Pleasure P.
well, and I think what's going to end up happening is one of these days coming up soon is going to hit the fan, and there will be some type of documentary or something. Has to be, because this has been circling around for way too long. This has been going on for like at least 10 years, with Raz B trying to come out and kind of say what's going on, and ain't nobody else spoke up. And that whole Marcus Houston thing, marrying that 17, or she wasn't 17
Because
at
Raz
the
B
time.
was saying that all of them was victims. So I'm believing that they don't want to,
They don't want to expose it
they don't expose themselves.
because it's too close and they're considered quote unquote family. I don't know what the relationships are. Some are cousins, brother.
Yeah,
I don't know.
cousins.
No, them was lies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, because it was always a smokescreen. Oh, we're brothers, we're cousins. And then somewhere, I don't know. So it seemed like that whole family thing is one of those cover up things that, Chris Stokes used to make sure that his shit didn't get out. So,
Do you believe it?
yeah,
I believe it as well.
absolutely.
I believe it as well.
Absolutely.
I believe it as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's probably worse than what we
Because
probably
that
think
was
it
the
is.
issue when they actually went for the reunion tour and came back, and why he was like, he was told that certain people wasn't going to be involved or going to be around, and they were,
And they were.
and he was finna drop out.
Yeah.
He's clearly hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and so that's why I believe him. I believe him because nobody fights a 10-year
He has
long
nothing to
battle.
gain.
There's
At all.
nothing to gain. It's
No.
not
His
gonna
story
make
ain't
him-
never changed.
it's
There's
not
no
gonna-
album with it. There's no nothing. Like, all he's doing is
he's
just,
damn
he
sure
wants
not,
to be heard.
Exactly. There's no August Alsina in his blood.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So for someone to go that hard, I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff, inside stuff. So that also makes me.
Well, but
know,
even if he had a
believe.
documentary album or something, it doesn't matter. It's still true.
Right.
It's still true. So,
Real quick, I had two little suggestions for verses.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what y'all think. If they will do B2K, Pretty Ricky.
no.
That would be a good one.
Do you think B2K would actually do it? Because it seemed like they got some
Outside
other
of that,
shit going.
outside
Okay.
of if they will do
No, I
it.
mean, if it
Outside
actually
they would
happened,
do
it would
If
be
they
a
did,
good
It would be a
matchup.
good battle. Yeah, I agree.
It would be a good battle.
Yes.
All right, the other one, you think it would be a Bow Wow versus Romeo?
Who?
Mm-mm.
You heard me.
Romeo ain't got
Bow Wow versus Romeo?
Bow Wow will wash him thoroughly. I mean, I know
He would.
Bow Wow is
Chad Moss.
lame,
Just for the culture?
Bow Wow.
but Bow Wow gonna wash him.
Bow Wow watch.
Bow Wow will lie.
You know what?
the
I
whole
would like
way.
to see Rico Love in this versus battle somewhere.
They can't. There's no one that can match up with Rico Love.
Somebody could.
No way.
Somebody
because
could.
Rico Love's the only person who could probably do it would be like Rodney Jerkins.
You talking about as an artist or as a producer?
As
Okay.
an artist, I don't think there's anybody who, because he's done so much. He's on so many.
But that's why I
records.
think he would be good.
And then so
Well, you know what? Who would have been a good matchup for him?
Who?
The Dream.
The dream would
Oh
be
shit!
But he
Him?
already went.
Oh, or Dark Child. Oh, but Dark Child doesn't perform.
I would like to see Dark Child versus Britney.
Sean King. Sean King.
Michael Cox. Excuse me.
Sean King could do it. Sean Kingston could do it.
No.
He couldn't go against bro, that dude's got records. Crazy.
No.
He got hella records.
No.
He's got hella records.
Sean Kingston?
Yeah, he's got hella records.
Don't make me do it Wild Wild West. Don't make me do it Wild Wild West.
As a writer,
As a writer.
as a writer, that nigga's got records.
Beautiful girl, Sean Kingston.
But as a
That's
writer,
why it would never work.
as a writer producer,
Oh, I got a soundbite for that. Go ahead.
just as a writer producer, I feel like that nigga's catalog is nice. Nobody's gonna say his catalog's not nice.
Shake that head off. I don't care. You have a blessed night, green head.
I'm weak.
Why was that so long?
Why did that last so long? That wasn't a sound.
It is sound
We might have to pay for that.
I'm so weak.
royalties and shit. Get a nigga royalties.
All right.
Stupid.
All right, let's get serious because this next topic ain't gonna be funny. Chad Wheeler.
Damn it, bro! You can't go from laughs to Chad.
Yeah,
Wheeler.
we have to, man. That's what we do here. Chad Wheeler. He was an offensive tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. Was arrested on felony domestic charges for domestic violence. He had an alleged manic episode where he strangled his girlfriend. He demanded her to bow to him, and she refused. He threw her on the bed, strangled her until she lost consciousness, and then he went to go eat. And when she came to, he looked at her and said, "Oh, like you're still alive," like questioning if she's still alive, basically. So she ran into the bathroom. She locked the door. She did call police, call 911. When 911 got there, they found him hovering over her, and she had a dislocated arm, and obviously she was bleeding all over the place. So, main media didn't really report on this. NFL didn't say anything. Well, I ain't gonna say they didn't say anything. They didn't say much. And a lot of people were upset because this kind of highlights the NFL's history of not taking gender-based domestic violence seriously. And goes all the way from Tyreek Hill to Ray Rice, Greg Hardy. There's a couple of other names that come up when we talk about that. So this also brought up another conversation about mental health and bipolarism. So I think first I want to get just first reactions and how we feel about how the NFL has handled this. And then we're going to call Jeremy so we can get insight on, before we even have a conversation about the mental health side, I think we should get an expert to explain to us what actually a manic episode, what that entails, what it can entail, so that way we're not speaking out of turn. So just quick reactions to what we thought when we first saw the news and how the NFL has handled it so far.
The NFL doesn't give a shit. NFL's never gonna give a shit. It never has.
Well,
Because you gotta like, first off, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and shit. You can't cancel the NFL. You like, there's so many people who, like, majority of their viewers are men who don't give a fuck, even women who don't give a fuck. So, because they've been in situations and shit, and they're going to continuously be in a situation. The NFL's not going to give a fuck because people up there already live that fucking life. So they're not going to make that. They're not going to make that issue.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they, again, are worried about their brand, as most companies are going to do. They're worried about their brand, their image, of course. I mean, I believe he was cut or whatever. I don't know if he was suspended indefinitely or anything like that.
No.
But I feel like in other situations where the player was black, that immediately,
I think it's interesting because usually we would point to race, and I think we have seen differences in race in the NFL, but we've also seen differences in like star players, like if they are integral to their team or to that team's brand, we see them getting treated differently. So like the Tyreek Hill situation.
They kicked him out.
Nothing. No.
Oh no,
No.
Yeah.
He's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get
Who
suspended or
did they
nothing.
kick out? They kicked out a player out of the NFL. Who was that? There was a player that Tyreek Hill is
He's a receiver for the Chiefs.
yeah, but
And he's their star receiver.
but he's
And
the one who did the girl, right? That that's
well,
spit in his face and called him a nigger.
No.
So that guy's gone. He's out of the league.
Who was that?
So that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's because he was a star
that
too.
was Kareem. That was Kareem Hunt.
But he's a star too.
Right, but he's playing again.
Yeah, but they did kick him out initially.
Right, but then because he was sorry, he apologized. I think he didn't really. It was like a slap on the wrist. But I think that situation was different because not really different. I think people understood that because she called him the N-word, that she thank you, that I think some people they sympathize with why he did it. But the bottom line is that he should have never been in that situation.
Thank you, Mr. Cameraman.
And that's not a reason for you to put hands on a woman. Period.
Yeah.
So he got kind of a slap on the wrist. But I think that's another point that kind of points to how lenient they are when it comes to domestic violence.
Because of their investments.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So I think when you have a star player that's making 20, 30, whatever, how many millions a year, I think they're more prone to kind of turn the blind eye. Because with the Ray Rice situation, they didn't. That's what Will brought up earlier. They weren't going to do anything until the video became public. They had the video before the public got the video, and they didn't start really talking about suspending or expelling or taking money away from him until people had outrage after the public.
So I think that the outrage is different. I think number one, the outrage isn't the same because it's a black woman. So let's it's a white man doing domestic violence to a black woman, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And the reason why I say that is because when Mike Vick was fighting pit bulls, that shit was everywhere.
That's true.
When he was fighting dogs, bro. And so,
but do you think if the NFL, if that was not public information to everybody else, PETA's, all those organizations, do you think that they would have done that with Mike Vick being the face of the league?
Nope.
I think NFL don't really do anything until they get the backlash.
Until they get the backlash. Exactly. They're worried about their brand.
I mean, that's if you think about it, that's essentially everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say shit if they feel like they have to. Dani Leigh wouldn't have said shit if she didn't feel like she had to.
I feel like
that's true.
That's true. That's a good point.
I could see if there was still consequences, though. That's the thing. They ain't really doing nothing about it unless there's public outrage. And I mean, I wouldn't expect for the NFL to release a video that would be tarnishing to their brand. I wouldn't expect them to do that. Who would? But I would expect there to have been consequences, whether the public has seen the video or not. I could respect if you didn't release the video, because of course you're not gonna do that.
Right.
But
see, that I think that there's also a line too between a manic bipolar attack versus an angry person just beating on women.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's got to be taken into consideration too. Although, even regardless of what the cause of the violence was, I think, like you said, the NFL is always going to play the interest of the NFL,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Over human life and so on and so forth, right? Because if somebody dies in the NFL, they just draft somebody from the league or from college or from a practice squad and they bring them up, right. So for them, it's business as usual. Right. So Chad Wheeler he's disposable. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of Chad Wheelers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. And that too, and that and on top of that, give it a week or two, unless something else comes up, and it'll be talked about again.
Well, we haven't barely talked about it now, so why do we need a week or two?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing, like the whole council culture, ain't real. It is not real. It's always something that comes up. It's always somebody coming back. It don't mean shit. You have issues with somebody and shit, and then everybody talking about don't fuck with them, and then a week later, I fuck with them.
Yeah.
Hey, what's good, y'all?
Hey, what's good, man? Mr. Debonair. There you go.
Yeah, Black C's in the building.
You know we back at it, dog.
What's up, big dog? How you feel, bro?
Oh, feeling good, feeling great, man. How about y'all?
Man, I feel fantastic.
Feeling great. I got a peppermint mocha in my hand with almond milk. It's great. I'm dropping bars.
Okay.
All right.
He's dropping bars. And also free sponsorships. I see what you're doing there.
Oh man,
That wasn't on purpose.
Oh.
Damn, I thought black people canceled Starbucks a long time ago.
But said cancel culture is not real. You heard what he just said. See what I said? You heard what he just said.
You heard what I said.
We don't want to hold you too long, and we're I don't want to put you on a time limit, but we are running out of time. I just
no worries.
No. So I just want to we wanted to get your take or your expertise on Chad Wheeler. I'm sure that you're familiar with him. The offensive tackle.
Man.
Okay. So there's a little bit of a debate on if he's responsible or how much responsibility he should take because of the I guess the notion that allegedly during the attack that he was having a manic episode. He was having a manic depressive episode. So we wanted to get just your professional expertise on when it comes to bipolarism, what does that look like? And if that is true, should that exonerate him from the brunt of the responsibility for what he's done?
I mean, if we think in the court of law, right, we have a lot of people who go through the justice system that have pre-diagnosed mental health conditions, right? And when we're thinking about, a lot of people having schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, anxiety, paranoia, things of that nature, the court of law, from what I understand, they'll take it into account, but it's, the idea of, do you know right or wrong? Are you cognitively aware of what right and wrong looks like and so forth? So when we think about other people who have bipolar disorder, it's not something that you see all the time where, this kind of level of aggression, this level of hyperactivity where you're beating your girlfriend to a bloody pulp and then wondering, oh, you're still alive. I mean, it's hard for me to say that, okay, you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions to the full extent of the law. And then keep in mind, too, when it comes to black and brown folks and so forth, when we think about undiagnosed mental health conditions and so forth, too, that's not, trying to protect us in the court of law. That's not protecting us whatsoever, right? So at the end of the day, we don't know about his history, how he grew up, what interventions were tried when he was a child, because I'm always looking from that lens as a school psychologist, not as a therapist, not as a clinical psychiatrist that's prescribing medicine or whatever. I'm thinking at the beginning. Where about at the beginning? What were, the things that were tried when he was growing up and all that's, nature of that game too. So, of course, we don't know all of that, but we do know that we have a person that has the cognitive ability to decide right and wrong, to make those, decisions of, look, I'm not going to engage in this therapeutic approach anymore, cognitive behavioral therapy, helping me to be able to tackle some of these emotions, some of these feelings that I'm having and so forth. I'm not going to take medication anymore. I think if I remember correctly reading that he was saying that he had completely stopped his medication regimen. So,
he did.
Yeah,
he did.
So the idea is, look, that you have these types of behaviors. He's probably known since a child that, look, if I'm having a manic episode, I know that I'm more likely to engage in these kind of aggressive tactics and so forth. I can't really feel any sympathy for somebody that has that probably previous information already at their fingertips, has engaged, has engaged in a therapeutic approach where he was prescribed medication, meaning that he had to talk to a clinical professional who diagnosed him as having bipolar disorder and told him, look, in terms of this game plan, speaking of football, right? If you follow this game plan, these are going to be the positive results that may occur. So a lot of times you get people that are in a privileged situation where it's like, I don't have a problem. I don't need this. And then you have situations like this that occur where it's like, oh, well, I have a mental health condition. Well, you do. A lot of people do. And they don't have that type of behavior occur. One of the most famous people we know that recently got diagnosed with bipolar disorder is Kanye West, right? And we think about Kanye and, some of the kind of grandiose kind of hyperactivity he's shown, but never has he ever shown that kind of level of aggression, right? So we know it's a spectrum. We know that, there's different levels to this bipolar mental health, condition and so forth too. That's why, when the court of law, when we're trying to, kind of evaluate, situations like this, we really have to break it down in terms of like, well, do you know right and wrong? What does that look like? How were you raised? Where did you come up? you know that in terms of yourself, and you've had enough experience being a person with this condition, that if you don't do the proper steps to be able to protect yourself, you're going to probably cause extreme harm to yourself and or others.
True.
So that's where I come from when looking at that situation. But the caveat too, we also got to keep in mind too that, you know, NFL football, I'm not making any excuses at all. We know that CTE stuff is running rampant too. And so here we have another situation where we have a person that is committing extreme acts of violence against another, particularly a woman of color, right? Which adds that racial component to it. What is the NFL doing about this? Where is the NFL coming up and being like, you know, putting their foot down to an extreme measure, saying, look, we don't tolerate this. This dude's banned for life.
Right.
I would like to see a stronger response from the NFL and some of their, you know, supporters, sponsors, teams, and so forth, saying that this is not tolerated. If you have a problem as a member of this organization, you know, we have to address that in terms of you following this path that we put you on, in terms of medication, in terms of therapy, in terms of regulating your mood and things of that nature. What you have is probably somebody who probably never felt like they had to, you know, follow anybody's rules, and probably doesn't, you know, really even believe that they have a medical diagnosis, because sometimes that does happen. Why else stop your medication if you know it helps you? You know, it's just a lot of layers to it. But in short, I'm sympathetic only to a certain level. And of course, being a Black practitioner and knowing that, you know, how our women are not protected at all, and the racial component too, it makes me even less sympathetic. But, you know, he does have a medical condition. He was taking medication. Some of the behaviors that he showed sometimes can be at the most extreme level of having a bipolar manic episode disorder kind of situation too. But, you know, we also think of all the other people that have bipolar disorder who will say, well, you're making us look bad, right? Because I don't act like that. She doesn't act like that. So what's up with that?
let me ask you this, and then we're going to let you go. Zach Banner was a former teammate with him at USC. And he had this to say: Chad Wheeler is somebody completely different than my roommate and my brother at SC. And today I had to come to terms with that. What he did was heartbreaking, and I will never forgive. My thoughts and prayers to go out to the victim. She and her health should be the utmost priority. And I think a lot of people were focusing on, he said that the person was totally different than the Chad Wheeler, I guess, that he knew. So one of our questions, and I guess one of the questions that a lot of people had were, if somebody has bipolar, if somebody is diagnosed as bipolar and they are nonviolent, can a manic episode flip that switch or have them turn? Have you encountered in your studies or heard of nonviolent people turning violent when they are in a manic episode?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're, you know, with the brain chemistry and all that kind of stuff too. And then obviously he's older too. You know, age can impact our physical as well as our mental health as well. Yeah, I mean, it can be night and day, the Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation. You know, it just becomes, you know, 1 minute, you know, everything's all calm, and the next minute, oh my goodness, where is this, you know, coming from? You know, that kind of that Jekyll and Hyde, you know, night and day kind of situation is very, you know, prevalent in having a manic episode such as that too. But like I said, we also think, you know, there are some other things related to cultural. We are talking about, you know, the NFL. We are talking about a racial kind of dynamic. You know, when I hear someone like, you know, this, you know, young cat, I think of Bill Romanowski back in the day. Oh, yeah. You know, I think about Richie Incognito, you know. I mean, so, you know, and these are people that would probably be quick to say, well, you know, I got something going on. I had a tough life and things like that. But, you know, we can be sympathetic to a certain level, but what are you doing to try to help yourself?
So I think what you're saying is what we all agreed upon basically yesterday on our group call, or Thursday, right? Thursday. On our group call where there is a real diagnosis and a real problem, but I think the responsibility falls on being aware that you do have that problem and then choosing to perform outside of the necessary steps to prevent it from happening. Right. Well, and this is not, he also had an incident at USC in 2015 where he was living at an off-campus apartment and he was detained by police and taken to a psychiatric hospital because
he was basically what does it say? It says that he was punching walls, punching windows. He barricaded himself inside the apartment where there was a 20-year-old female and her 7-month-old son. Then he actually came back and to that apartment after he was advised not to. So this is not the first violent incident that he's had when it comes to domestic violence in the face of a woman. So you would think that after the incident like that you would make sure that, you are on your medication. But, something that we don't know is if you are diagnosed with it, does your diagnosis also change your decision making where you don't stay on it, right? Because there's some disorders where it's extremely hard for somebody to stay on the medication because they feel like that there's nothing wrong with them when in reality you have to maintain it, right? So I don't know if that had something to do with it either, but okay, I think that you gave us a good basis for us to kind of give a good answer.
Mm-hmm. I think with any kind of situation like that, you got to wonder about executive function and decision making. But the society that we live in and the research that we've shown in terms of people who have this diagnosis and the pattern of behaviors also is something we also consider too. If you have this pattern of behaviors, then okay, well, this isn't just, the mental health condition impacting your decision making.
Right.
Some of this also is probably societal. Some of this also is probably, how you were raised. Without knowing all of the, the background history of him up until this point, it's hard to make, a official clinical judgment and then court of law and court of public opinion. But we do know that a lot of people have bipolar disorder and they don't act like that.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Facts. All right, man.
Have a psychologist, man.
Dropping bars once again, man. So we appreciate that, man. We gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we appreciate you. Shout out to man all the professionals out there that's doing the work, man. The work. So we definitely appreciate you, brother, and we will let you go, man.
Hey, much love. I'm looking forward to, connecting with y'all again.
Yes,
I saw y'all got a little, love and hip hop going on with Photo B. So I'm a little jealous though. I'm single too.
We should.
I'm trying to settle down too. So if Photo B don't want the woman that gonna come on the show, tell her holla at me, bro.
I'm weak.
Hey, it might be a continual thing. You never know.
We can see the reverb love connection.
Come on now.
Reverb heartbeats.
All right, Jeremy. Appreciate you.
All right, stay up, y'all. Talk to y'all later.
All right, one.
G Swagger.
I personally have no sympathy.
Okay.
I have no sympathy.
Because the accountability thing.
He have that part. As well as you have history of doing it before when you're not on medication.
So it may
you have a responsibility to keep yourself and the people around you safe.
Facts.
As a man. Right. You knew you have violent tendencies. As a football player, you have violent tendencies. Not to say all football players are violent, but you have history. I have no sympathy.
Dude.
It's almost like as if like I was saying before, like if a nurse was taking care of somebody and they didn't give the prescribed medication that they needed and something ended up happening, that is malpractice. They would have been
held accountable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should be held accountable equally, if not more, because this is your own shit.
Do the Seattle Seahawks should they have any responsibility in this at all?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
To the situation or repercussions?
Seattle, for repercussions, maybe, but I don't think that it's the Seahawks' fault. While I was listening to G Swagger talk, I was thinking, because of the history of this man, is that something that the young lady should have considered before being around him in that length of time and so on and so forth? Well, I'm not giving her any blame for the attack,
I understand what you're saying.
But I'm just saying,
I think what you're saying is that before you get into a relationship with somebody, you should do the homework. But
I'm not trying to put any blame on her because I don't want the Reverb Nation to feel like I'm
no. I think you're bringing up a good point.
But I feel like it's an individual, like you said, it's individual basis. There's plenty of people that's bipolar that don't act like that.
But we're talking about his history specifically because he's shown this pattern before, and the one time it was reported, it was involving another woman and their child.
Right, but he could be telling her, "I'm taking my medication," and not be taking the medication.
True. I wouldn't trust it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not with him 24/7. But I think the reason why I was asking is, are the Seahawks responsible in some shape, form, or fashion? is if they're employing him and they know that he has a bipolar diagnosis.
No.
Oh.
We know that the teams essentially don't give a damn about the mental health of their players. As long as they can play, they don't give a damn.
But
They weren't tripping over concussions.
my job don't come and check and make sure I'm taking my medication.
That's true.
If I'm showing up and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm, you know, I'm acting how I'm supposed to act,
that's true.
Why would they have any reason to be like until there's an actual incident?
Well,
They
you
trip
know what?
if you can't perform.
But I think that's where it depends on the pedigree of the player, because we've seen in certain situations where certain teams have given the resources to make sure that a player stays on the straight and narrow and does what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Josh Gordon would be one example. Des Bryant would be another. Ezekiel Elliott, I think, because those are star players. So I think the other players they don't really care about, where they have security with them all the time. They tell them that you're not supposed to go to the club. They make sure that they're not smoking weed, drinking alcohol. So we've seen that the NFL has the capacity to do it. I think
I think it depends on how big that investment is.
Yeah. There you go. I think that's probably where that answer is. So
over the net, they don't really have responsibility.
He wasn't a Seahawk no more either. He technically wasn't on the team.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was an unrestricted free agent. He was an unrestricted free agent.
Why you really can't hold the Seahawks accountable, because at the time
he wasn't on the team.
Okay, that looks mad ass delicious.
That's
right
good.
now.
No. Actually, no. He was a restricted free agent or unrestricted.
He was unrestricted. They don't do the restricted agency in football. That's mostly basketball.
No. I was reading something where they said he's restricted and he was technically on the team until March. Because with the restricted, you can match. Like if somebody signs him, then you can match the offer. Well, he ain't on the team no more.
He ain't getting matched nothing.
No, he ain't getting nothing matched. So
the only contract he getting is that a
no, yeah, no,
as he shouldn't.
Yeah, as he shouldn't. So hopefully we see a strong response from the NFL, and they actually had a team that was in place to deal with these kind of issues with the
for the league,
with like the domestic violence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but after the Ray Rice and Kareem Hunt thing, the people that they put in charge quit because they said there was no action. That the NFL wasn't really serious about doing it.
Yeah,
it was performative.
Isn't it all the time, right? Don't we always get something?
We always see that. Yeah.
Don't we always get something, and then when everything levels back out?
Yep, that's true.
Like Black Lives Matter.
That's exactly what I was referring to. BLM.
Oh, you mean like Harry Tubman being put on a
$20 bill?
Yeah.
Fact.
Okay. Oh man, Steph, you want to take this one to T.I. and
Why
Tiny?
I gotta take it?
Well, because you usually do the internet ones again. I can do it. We're gonna do it. I need some help. It's too much information. Golly. All right. So T.I. and Tiny have been accused of multiple sexual allegations, rape, trafficking, everything under the sun. Mm-hmm. It started with T.I.'s former business partner, Sabrina Peterson.
Yep.
Where she accused T.I. of putting a gun to her head. And after that allegation, then about 15 other women came out and said that they have been either manipulated, raped, or forced to take Molly or ecstasy before entering in their home. Some were underage at the time. Some were strippers. Some were dancers. And that basically both T.I. and Tiny were in on it together. Mm-hmm. And that there were some allegations that Tiny was actually being abusive towards some of the women because I guess T.I. was giving one of them too much attention. And there's just a lot of allegations in regards to that, almost on R. Kelly-esque levels.
It makes a lot of sense why he cares about the hymen so much.
See?
T.I. responded, and he said that this is totally, well, they both responded, but T.I. actually recorded a video. He said that this is totally false. That the reason why that they are coming out right now is because they are trying to basically get T.I. and Tiny to defame their character, so that way they can take them to court. He said the reason why this has not gone to the court because there's no truth to it. He said so the reason why you're hearing about it is so that way when we respond, then they can sue us for defamation of character. He said that it is not true. There's nothing true with it. What it has seemed to brought up that none of T.I. or Tiny have dismissed is that they are swingers and that they have been conducting in sexual activity with other people. T.I. didn't dismiss it. Tiny didn't dismiss it. And Steph, what I need your help is Tiny's friend, I guess, came out and was defending Tiny, and she was basically saying the same thing, but she said, I guess Sabrina Peterson was, I guess, interacted in one of the threesomes with them, and also was helping find women for T.I. and Tiny. So she was
human resources.
That's crazy.
I guess. So she said, so she was confused on why she was bringing this up when she was one of the people that were helping them out.
The problem.
But then later,
part of it.
Later,
So
then
she's a madam.
But then later she redacted and said that she was speaking out of emotion.
She thought what she was saying was gonna help, but it really hurt.
It made things worse.
Yeah, because you basically kind of confirmed what was going on.
Well,
by saying that.
I think what she was trying to say is that yes, the sexual stuff was going on, but it was consensual and not forced. Wasn't rape, wasn't checking drugs. That she was helping find the girls for them to do that. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Not saying that she helped, but I think that
it was consensual.
No, I don't know if it was consensual, but what I'm saying is that I think that part of their life is true. That they have been swingers and having other women and other people in their bedroom. Mm-hmm. Whether it was consensual or not, I don't know. I don't want to speak on that. Mm-hmm. But what?
Because that's essentially what she was saying. Like, why are you basically saying something when you was a part of it?
Right.
So I mean, and of course you would. That's not helping.
No,
that's not helping.
Right.
you confirming shit
because a lot of the captions were, when your friend trying to defend you start saying too much.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah. So it's like you confirming shit where just because you was a part of it doesn't mean that you weren't assaulted or you know what I'm saying? Maybe you was forced or maybe you don't. I mean, we don't really know.
Well, and when there's drugs involved, I mean,
drugs involved.
But that's the whole point, right? To give them drugs so they.
Well, she was saying Sabrina was, she was saying that Tiny was on coke too. That they were indulging in drugs as well, which is not right.
AirPod size?
We don't know.
AirPod size?
All that's all alleged. Everything's alleged.
It's all real. It's all real.
So you believe everything?
I believe all of it.
You believe the rape?
I believe that. I believe that once you introduce drugs to anything, I think you start getting the Cosby effect, and I think that even if they're taking it voluntarily, like we saw back then, I still think that the intent is to have them to perform out of character or to loosen up or to relax or to allow things that maybe they normally wouldn't have allowed. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that anytime you start, it's the same thing like we talked about on one of the early episodes about alcohol, right? If I'm going to the club and I'm feeding you alcohol, and I know you're going to get drunk and I know you're going to not be able to defend yourself or tell me no, or you're just going to let me do whatever. I feel like it's the same thing. So I feel like if drugs are involved and they're forcing people to take drugs upon entry of the house, I have no reason not to believe that it's not going on. Furthermore, like you said, they didn't come out and deny that they weren't having sex, right? Their argument is contingent upon consent. You know what I'm saying? So 15 people are not just going to come out all of a sudden and just be like, oh yeah, they did that to me too.
Well, in the video, T.I. said that he has proof that some of those people that were sending her the allegations or text were people that were lying and said that they were doing it just for clout. He said he has proof of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to hear that because I feel like when people got proof, but if somebody is making these type of allegations against you, saying I got receipts but not showing them, I don't feel like it's the way that you go about it. Because if anybody said anything like that about me, I wouldn't be like, I got receipts, but I ain't gonna show it. Hell no, I'm defending my name.
I got you. I'm not defending T.I. at all.
Well, but think about this. He said
if he had receipts and he's not going to show them.
Listen. But he said some of those people. Some.
Well,
not
because
all the people
because he may not be able to verify.
But it doesn't matter though. You're talking about 15 people coming and saying that it's real, and you're talking about some people are lying for clout, bro. Then what about the rest of the people?
But we don't know how many some are. I'm just
but
if somebody accused you of what they're accusing him of, and you had
receipts,
even if you only had receipts on 4 of them,
right?
Would you hold on to them receipts?
So I'm gonna say why I would. Reason being is because I'll wait for you to put out your whole story and be like, this is what you said. What do you got to say now? I'm not gonna put it out the beginning because you can change your shit afterwards. So like when it comes to things to do like cops doing some shit they weren't supposed to be doing, right? Somebody has some other footage and they immediately give it to them before anything comes out. Next thing you know, they're able to back that up. They're able like, okay, this is why, this is why, this is why. They usually tell people like, don't show shit. Wait until everything is all put out, then put that shit out, see what they got to say about that then.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. The only other thing I can say is if I'm not in his shoes, so I can't speak. I don't know what all the background is, but if I had built an empire, my first initial response would be yes to put it out. But if you are planning on suing them or countersuing them, it may not be smart to put it out so that way you can hold your cards and know what you're going to be able to, what you will be able to present in court. So again, this is not me defending him at all. When I look at a situation, I want to look at it objectively. I want to look at all the facts.
Are they suing?
They can't sue. They're not, there's no court case as of right now. So that's why he was saying.
No, I'm talking about them. Are they suing for defamation if they're lying?
That's what I was thinking about too. T.I. was
well,
like that.
I think that's what he's trying. I think that's what he was alluding to.
T.I. should be suing everybody if it's defamation of character.
I think that's what he's alluding to.
Yeah,
I think that he's saying that they're trying to get what he said. What they're trying to do is trying to get him to respond, so that way then they can sue him for defamation of character, not from what they've alleged.
I understand.
I understand what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. So
but
why
it
is
just
he
happened.
not?
We don't know. I don't know.
He had enough time to put out a video and talk about it. He had enough time to hit an attorney and be like, yo, let's sue somebody.
Right, but it's still a developing story like what Photo B is saying. You need to get all the information.
So when people accuse my dad of rape and the police picked him up, right? We were able to talk to an attorney right then. And then we were able to countersue for defamation of character immediately. Right? It didn't take that much time. You know what I'm saying? If you're afraid of responding to them directly because they're going to sue you for defamation of character, then your initial lawsuit should be for defamation of character.
And my statement wouldn't be me walking down the street in front of my house on Instagram. Like, I feel like
well, I don't think that was the initial statement though. Their manager, PR person put out an official statement. That was him doing that on his own. Yeah,
no. The official statement should say that we doing something about this. If it don't, and it's just they lying, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. If you're not taking legal action, they're telling the truth for sure.
Okay, so we got two telling the truth.
Because I feel like if you're not suing them for defamation, it's because you know they got information.
I mean, they could be pumping it like Dogecoin, right? They could all just be coming together as a group and putting a bunch of allegations out. But like I said, I just think that the way that it's being handled by the Harrises is not
the shade room comments.
Right. It's
tiny. Come on.
It's not how you would do things if you know what I'm saying? If you were truly innocent, you would be outraged and appalled. You're not, like you said, you're not walking.
She literally in the comments like, oh, now you say got something to say, but 2 months ago, Tip was uncle to your son. And all that. I'm like, that's not the response of somebody
she's talking about the shade room.
Yeah, she in the shade room comments saying stupid shit. So it's
focusing on the wrong
you know what
stuff.
I mean? Like you're trying to basically be like, well, you was just cool with us, like that. That ain't the kind of response of somebody that's innocent.
Well, here's a statement, and I think if we're gonna find out anything, we're gonna probably find it out pretty soon. Mr. and Mrs. Harris want to go on record, and more importantly, want the public to know that they emphatically deny, in the strongest way possible, the egregious. Where am I at? Egregious, appalling allegations being made against them by Sabrina Peterson. The Harrises have had difficulty with this woman for well over a decade. They are taking this matter very seriously, and if these allegations don't end, they will take appropriate legal action. So that was a statement that they put out.
If it happens again?
No, if it continues.
If it continues.
Nigga, it's enough. It's 15.
I'm really, and that sound like T.I. wrote that.
Was it a lot of big
words? What was that word that he used? What was that first one?
Egregiously.
Yeah, that's the one.
Emphatically.
Yeah, he uses
like,
bruh, those are T.I. words for sure.
I don't want to. He wrote that his damn self. And if you don't stop, come on now. We've had problems with her for years. Yeah. She hating. Bye. Your answer is she hating.
If there are, unfortunately, where we're at in society with Me Too movement and things like that, when you have allegations of sexual misconduct,
You gotta take it seriously.
And well, I mean, I think they are taking it seriously, but I think the point I want to make is, I'm not talking about their situation specifically. In the court of public opinion, you are guilty until proven innocent. That's just the truth. Somebody comes out and says it because we have not been sensitive to what women have been saying. So now in this day and age, we are sensitive to what they're saying, and we usually tend to believe we should be believing the victim because we've not believed them before. So it is really, it's not how the real courtroom works, but public opinion works. You kind of have to prove that you didn't do it.
You should.
Mm-hmm.
And
You should want to.
If somebody came to you and told you I raped them, I'm on the case. That's what my full day is devoted to.
Well, if you're in his shoes, like if somebody came out and said Rob raped me,
you would be in jail right now.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. If they went to the police.
If there was no no.
If they went, my dad, they picked my father up, dog, and they arrested him
just
first.
because if somebody says that they raped, if somebody came out and said Rob raped me,
yes,
bro, you're going to jail.
No,
and then they're gonna run on.
Well, it would have to be, the prosecutor would have to
put out.
They're going to listen to their story, and then they're going to decide if they're going to
press charges.
And
if
not going to jail.
Bro, they took my.
Oh yeah,
no, I'm not saying
if they
that
press a charge and you get arrested.
You're going to jail.
If there is enough evidence for them to think that they're going to take it to trial, and
then they'll press charges.
Yes,
bro, they took my pop to jail on a word.
I'm not saying that that's not true, but what I'm saying is in he's black. Okay, so okay. Then. But
I think they're banking on the fact of, nobody believing it, and that the type of girls that they've done this with will, people feel like they don't have credibility.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of what they're banking on,
probably,
and that's not.
Well,
the way.
and they've gotten probably so used to that kind of swinger lifestyle that they that encompasses with that has become normal. And passing out, being unconscious, not knowing what you're doing, being drunk, high, Molly, ecstasy, coke, it's not normal.
That's why I believe it, because once you introduce drugs and paraphernalia into the situation, then the intent, right, is to get you inebriated and off your game. You know what I mean? To allow you to be loose enough to fucking let other things go, or not to be able to say no, I don't want that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think, too, with T.I., people just, the way he acts and how he is,
with his daughters and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like it just kind of, people are like kind of just.
Kind of matches up.
They kind of putting things two and two together like.
Yeah. I think that's why we had that conversation, was because consensual sex blurs when there are alcohol or drugs involved. And that's why I said when we were talking that night when, I was messing around, I stopped because... For one, I just, in that moment, you want to, as a man, you want to have a clear yes.
You have to have a clear yes.
You want to have
it's
a clear
not even
yes.
Just a want to.
And there's been...
I need you to say yes.
Not a lot of men think like that.
I've even sent text messages like when people are flirting with me.
Totally understand.
I think I read one where I was like, "Are you consenting to have sex?"
Right, but not a lot of men
so I can have records
because
you got to do that.
There's some situations where you are both indulging in per se drugs, per se alcohol, and you want to have a good time. But in the good time realm, what is a good time to her? What is a good time to you?
Big old facts.
Because even though the sex is consensual, the acts within the sex may not be.
And I think that's
a conversation that you need to have.
I think that's the depth of what's really going on. I think that there may have been some consent to sex,
right?
But I also think that the drugs and whatnot play a part in things that happen to these women that they didn't want to happen to them. And I think the reason why they didn't come forward until they all started coming is because they knew that there was some consent involved, and then it got out of hand, and maybe they were embarrassed to tell their story, or they knew nobody would believe them.
Well, if you're famous, sometimes the consent is assumed.
Yeah, it's the power and the influence
as you assume the consent.
But
I think another part of that too is that I think that some men get the lines blurred because some women will say, "I want you to take charge," but taking charge doesn't mean you still should be getting consent. Taking charge does not mean, I have a full blanche to do whatever I want to do, and I'm gonna lead and you just follow. I mean, I think that comes when you're in a relationship with somebody that you've known for a long time. That's not a one night stand kind of a situation. You don't just, everything is on the table now because I'm T.I. and I'm Tiny and you gonna do whatever it is I want you to do. You know what I mean? So these celebrities gonna learn one way or another.
Man,
just because you Trey Songz or T.I. or whoever you are, doesn't mean that whoever you got in your bedroom that they gonna listen and do whatever it is that you want to do.
My bad.
Speaking of power situations, we're gonna touch on this very, very quickly, just because I think they kind of go hand in hand. So Russell Simmons' documentary On the Record premiered on January 25th in the Sundance Festival. Got standing ovation. I just want to just get your guys' thoughts on, because I know that this, just like we're talking about R. Kelly, and I don't want to compare, but this is kind of similar situation where multiple accusers, multiple women over a span of 20, 30 years, where people have kind of kept quiet, and they're saying that he's been enabled, and now they're finally coming forth, and we're seeing it in an actual documentary. Where do we stand with Russell Simmons, and how do we feel about Oprah Winfrey withdrawing from executive producing the documentary? Because she's been involved in quite a few.
That doesn't exonerate her.
It doesn't.
Well, and the reason why she pulled out was because of creative differences, right. And she said that she felt like there should have been more reporting on the actual allegations.
Now you feel about.
Well, I think she felt some pressure from the Michael Jackson doc.
She felt some pressure,
and from Russell Simmons, because he was publicly saying that she should not be involved in it because he felt that obviously it's not true. So, she dropped out a week before it premiered, and they just went on with it. They said, we don't need Oprah.
Well, you've already done all the work, Oprah. Right. A week away. All we're doing is waiting for the film sitting
but she also had a connection, I guess, to Apple TV Plus. It was going to air there, so that got pulled.
It doesn't matter. They don't need her anymore. It's still Russell Simmons, and Oprah helped build the whole concept, the construct. She did everything she was supposed to do to get him to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Creative differences being the reason. Your moral conscience should be the reason. If it's not true, then don't run it.
But I don't think that's
true. That's not the reason.
I don't think that's
true.
Yeah. But
if it's true, then do what you got to do. I just feel like Oprah has a knack for like destroying or helping to destroy the legend or the character. And if they did it, they did it.
Well, right. So do you
exactly? You can't destroy something that you destroyed your own shit. It's not on the people that reported. It's on you for doing it.
Do we think Oprah Winfrey has it out for black men? Is that what you're trying to say?
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
My question is, how many other documentaries of white celebrities, white male celebrities,
she has none. She has none because they sure didn't do it to what's his name,
Harvey Weinstein.
and they're goddamn best friends. They're always together.
Like shit,
she damn sure didn't go out on Harvey Weinstein, and they begged her for that.
They didn't even do shit for Trump. Trump got his shit.
Do you think that Oprah Winfrey backed?
I think that
I think it's speculation.
I think she.
I don't even want to ask that question.
No, let's talk about it.
No, I don't even want to ask that question.
Ask the question.
I was gonna say, do you think Oprah Winfrey backed out because of what Russell Simmons may know about her?
No.
I feel like.
If
that Harvey Weinstein situation,
she would have done it at the beginning anyway.
She wouldn't have done it at the beginning.
I'll say she wouldn't have did it at all.
Right.
If that was the case.
But Harvey Weinstein, I don't want to did Harvey the same way she's done everybody.
She should have, and I don't want to make this conversation centered around Oprah. Because I think Russell Simmons is the one.
I think that Russell Simmons
exactly.
I think he should. I think that he should answer for his sins. If people are coming out and he was doing sexual assault and doing all these other things that was going on, yes, there should be punishments for that. Mm-hmm. Just like they did Bill, just like they did Mike, just like they did everyone else. Mm-hmm. If it is true and you really did these things and people are coming out, then you got to live that life.
Right.
That's just how I feel about it.
As the public. Is it fair should we wait on getting all the information before we pass judgment?
I think we should, but we don't as a public. As a public, we just had a whole ass conversation about T.I. and Tiny.
I think that also, and when I'm asking that, I'm saying that with the premise that we are giving proper respect and space for the allegations to be heard. I think that was the issue before was, we were waiting for information, but the powers that be were usually silencing the allegations, and we were not hearing everybody's story. So,
it's because people automatically think that some people will lie about that. I'm not saying that nobody's never lied about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to err on the side that's
caution. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That somebody that's going to come forward is not lying about what happened to them.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, shit. I mean,
because you don't know. I mean, because me, I can see it both ways because I've lived that life with my pop, so I know the strain that it puts on your marriage, on your relationships,
Right.
on your friendships,
Right.
When people are coming forward and saying those kind of things, and it's not true,
Right.
So I always try to be cautious about it, but man, it's just like when you got 20, 30, 40, 50 people. I don't think it's all conspiracy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's hard to say, like with my pop, like he lost business relationships because of the allegations, right? Then it came up not true. They came back. My dad's like, man, you're supposed to know me.
That your reputation's already ruined.
Right. You're supposed to know me, right?
Yeah.
You left me out. You left me out to dead. You know what I'm saying? You act like you disconnected with me. Now I'm good again. Now you want to come back. And it made him feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, but are the people in the wrong?
For what? Disconnecting?
Are they?
I feel like
because that's just like a motherfucker that come out and somebody tell you that they was a serial killer. I mean, you'd be like, he would never do that. I mean, but shit.
I don't know what you do outside what I see.
You find out things about people that you be like, wow, but people will stand on, I know this person.
You said find out. So when you say find out about things, that means I feel like that's factual information. If somebody accused you guys, if somebody accused you of rape, I'm not turning my back on him because I don't know if it's true. Now, if he did it, like I have a friend, well, he was a friend. His name was Richie Montavo. And he's like a legend in like the construction field. Like he's an electrician, and he was sleeping with his daughters, right? And they were like 12, 11 or whatever. But Montavo, I think it's Montoya or whatever. But I play dominoes with this dude every day. And when the case came out against him, he was so adamant that he didn't do it. You know what I mean? That I was like, man, I've been around this dude. I've been around his family, a lot of us, right? And so we just continued business as usual. We supported him, right? I supported him as a friend because like Photo B said, I don't know what you're doing outside, but I'm not going to say that your kids are lying. I felt like there was no reason for the kids to lie, but he was having beef with his ex-wife. So the play was maybe she put the kids against him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stop hanging out with him until the evidence started showing that he really did it. Then at that point, I make a decision, am I still going to rock with this guy or not? And I think I learned that lesson from my pop, because what if he didn't do it? You know what I mean? My relationship with him is severed, and you know what I'm saying? And then I still got to work with this guy every day. Now he hates me. You know what I mean? So I feel like as a public, we do jump the gun in judging, but I feel like you said earlier, it makes it hard when it's like 40 people, 50 people. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that it makes it tough.
What are you supposed to do? I'm supposed to not believe 50 people?
Yeah, I think most people were thinking, oh, because he's rich, they're just trying to get a payday.
That's what a lot of people think.
But you can't. There's nothing. How can you say that? What can you like? You don't know people's motives. You don't know what's going on. And a lot of times, again, the allegations are usually underreported because the person that is being alleged or has allegations is in a powerful position where they have more of an avenue to then speak their mind. I want to ask this with extreme sensitivity. And again, on this platform, we adamantly do not condone any kind of sexual violence, domestic violence, molestation, any of that. It's all trash. And we will definitely tell, we'll stand on that all day. I think as men, we understand that in some of those situations, because we've seen, especially with black men, that women have lied. And I'm not saying as far as I'm not saying in Russell's standpoint. I'm saying like with Emmett Till. I'm saying like when, you know,
my dad.
And honestly, I'm gonna just keep it 100. Majority of it is white women when it comes to black men, where we get lied on and then we get thrown in jail and are accused of rape or whatever. It's been going on since slavery. Should false accusations be punished?
Absolutely.
Oh yes,
100%.
And how? Because does that
because then it leads people to not report because they think, damn, if I lose this case, then am I going to get prosecuted?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So just if it's not proven, or if is there actual evidence that you actually purposely lied on purpose?
So let's say, for instance, black girl was working at a 500 Fortune business. CEO's white. She gets molested, or not molested, excuse me, she gets sexual misconduct or whatever. She takes him to court. She doesn't have enough money to get a real lawyer. She has to get a public defender, whatever. He's obviously CEO. He gets the biggest lawyer in town. He beats the case. Should she get punished? Because it's not, we already know in court, it's not what's true, it's what you can
It's
prove.
what you can prove. And so that's why people wouldn't report, because it is like, if I can't prove this and I'm not believed, then
it's a
I could go to jail.
devil on both feet, man.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22 because there are men like my dad who went to jail. Yeah. Right? And then there are women who have been molested and men who have been molested and didn't have the means to fight back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's just part of lifing sometimes. You know what I mean? Some things we cannot, if you do add a penalty to it, like she said, she's absolutely right. People aren't going to
report. It's already underreported.
Because the only way you could do it then is you have to go immediately to I got to go report it immediately and get swabs and you know what I'm saying, all kind of good stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to do all the procedures.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. I mean, but I've even seen in some cases where even that evidence gets tainted because it's not handled properly.
Yeah.
So I think let me find this real quick. Screenshots. I want to read this really quick because we all know that we're all here about protecting Black women. I just want to read this stat real quick, and then we'll go to the trash as fuck. For Black women, and we're talking about domestic violence with the issue with Chad Wheeler, and also talking about just trying to protect them just in general. I meant to read this earlier, but I'm going to read it now. For Black women, instances of domestic violence are not rare occurrences and have heightened since the onset of the pandemic. Black women are 2.5 more times more likely to be killed by men than white women. And in 92% of those cases, they are familiar with their murderer. 56% of their homicides are committed by a current or former partner. In 2017, a report for the National Center of Victims of Crime found that 53.8% of Black women had experienced psychological abuse, while 41.2% of Black women had experienced physical abuse. More than 40% of Black women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime, according to the Institute for Women's Policy and Research. So I think when we get called simps and all that other kind of crazy stuff on here, and we're talking about listening and protecting Black women, the stats don't lie. Because I remember there was a post in The Nation where they were talking about Black women killing Black women, and then when it brought up that Black men are the main ones that are killing Black women, then there was some pushback on that. But the bottom line is
that's number one. We talked about being uneducated, and so a lot of Black men can't even fathom that it's Black men killing Black women.
Well, because it's not them doing it.
Right.
So they think no other Black men are doing it. But
it's not you, fam.
Yeah.
But somebody somebody's doing it, bro. So, other than that, we wouldn't have these statistics.
Well, and I think with this conversation around sexual abuse, conversation around the domestic violence, and everything else, we have to start checking each other, because you're right. You know, as men, we kind of sympathize because we're like, well, I've had a woman lie on me before, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. But we've all been in situations where niggas have done fuck shit, and we turn our backs or turn our heads and say, well, that's just him being him. That's just men being men or boys being boys, right? And that shit got to stop.
Agreed.
Period.
Yeah.
So
nice.
All right. Well,
nice
transition.
My trash as fuck goes to Robinhood. That's my trash as fuck. You guys suck. Okay. But I've seen this. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I've seen that. So the transfer of wealth from the rich to the not so rich, man, I've never seen it cock blocked on such a strong. They shut down the airline trading for a day. They shut down GameStop. They shut down all the electrical vehicles. They shut down all this. Bro, let the people trade the stocks. It's not our fault that we figured out how to pump and dump you guys out of all your money. So, I feel like it's trash, bro.
I know definitely trash.
I know a lot of people who lost a lot of money on GameStop. I know a lot of people who lost a lot of money on AMC, right? And it wasn't because they made the bad play. It's because Robinhood restricted limit sales. And when you can't limit sell, if you know anything about stocks, is if the price is at let's say the price is $100 a share, right? And you got in at $10 a share. You're up $90 a share. But your goal is to make $70 a share. So you're like, I want to get out at 70, you know what I'm saying? I want to get out if it drops below $80. What Robinhood did was they restricted the limit sale. So the people who were trying to get out, they couldn't get out. And a lot of people lost a lot of money because the money was moving so fast that by the time they were able to make a purchase, Robinhood couldn't keep up. So a lot of people lost a lot of money.
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out why, like, it's telling me I got brokerage money, but not my own money.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I pull out my money?
You
That's
can't
all
pull
my
out
money.
your money.
That's all my money. That I put
Well,
in.
they said that Robinhood
because
didn't have enough money.
You're borrowing
Yeah,
stock. They're
they said-
buying the stock for you.
Yeah, they're buying the stock for you. So that's how they did it now. So like you said, they ran out of money to cover the cost of all the payouts.
Yeah.
And some hedge funds were losing money. And then once Robinhood's phone started getting banged by these billionaires, they were like,
They pulled the plug.
We're gonna
Not
pull the
just
plug.
on that. They pulled the plug on a lot of other stocks.
It was about 20. It was about 20, 28 stocks.
But we still holding.
We still hold.
I got some AMC. We going to the moon.
Look, I went to AMC. I bought some AMC on Cash App.
Yeah, I had to buy it on Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
I had to buy it on Cash App.
I still want my money on what's it called? They taking too long. I don't like the fact that it's brokerage cash.
They were messing around with me too much. I said I'm just go straight to Cash App. I just bought my AMC off Cash App.
Yeah, I think that a word of caution to all you new investors, man. This is a big dog's game. So if you don't got the money to be in there,
get out.
And you don't have the knowledge to be in there, the market is going to change.
Yes,
because we are bubbling. This is the GameStop and AMC have nothing to offer America right now. So when you're in those type of stocks where you know that the movie theaters are closed and then you're going so hard because there's a piece of news out, basically these two stocks ran off of memes.
Yeah.
So Dogecoin
is a meme.
Dogecoin is a meme, right? So you have to be, if you can't afford to lose money and you don't have the education to do so, don't do it.
Right.
Don't buy a stock at $100 a share. Don't buy 10. Don't put $1,000 in something that you could lose. The best way to play stocks is to find stuff that's coming out now, buy low price, buy lots of freaking volume. Penny stocks are dangerous too, but they're for the long haul. They're from the long haul.
There's definitely multiple ways to invest, and I think we should probably do an episode on how to invest and what are things.
Because I could talk about that all day.
Rule number one is don't invest money that you don't have.
Period.
Bingo.
People be in debt.
And don't sell your XRP. Please don't sell your XRP. They are getting ready to win a court case with the SEC on regulations. They are going to be... This is just, in my opinion, they're going to be the regulated blockchain because Robinhood and all these other banks that can't keep up with these transactions are going to have to go to faster products. The dollar is going away. So if you don't have cryptos, please go buy some crypto. They're like 32 cents. You know what I'm saying? Spend $10 here, $10 there, $10 there. Spend $100. Buy 10 different ones. You know what I'm saying? Right. And just hold it. Spend $100 and just hold it. And if it works, it works. If not, man, it was $100. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
we're not giving. This is not
stock advice. I'm not getting paid for that. But
no, but I'm
not gonna be like the Reverb told me to go buy this and I lost my money.
I will.
Don't be in my inbox.
Hey, look. If you lose your money, it's because you were impatient and you were scared. That's another thing. If you have anxiety, please don't invest.
Yeah. Well, and just like anything that you get into, get educated, do your research, know what you're doing, and don't invest with money that you don't have.
Period.
So
that part,
Robinhood, trash as fuck,
bro. Like I was so upset.
I don't care. You have a blessed knot, greenhead.
So long.
How you gonna be called Robinhood and stop shit when the
poor start getting it from the rich?
I think that's what made people more upset is that we live in a capitalistic society. And we say we free market, and
then you shut the market down.
But then when the free market benefits the people, then you want to shut it down.
Facts.
Yeah. So
facts. I mean, I understand that because you got to think about who funds Robinhood, right? So I understand their position, right? Robinhood doesn't want to be in a position where they're paying back these companies massive amounts of money.
But it's not a free market then.
But you're definitely not working in a free market.
Well, and I think that again, people are learning a lot about America in these last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That it ain't for black. That this was built for white people. And it was built for rich.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people.
Poor and black.
I'm gonna tell you what something that's probably not popular opinion, but COVID-19 was probably one of the worst, best things that ever happened to America, bro.
Facts.
Because it taught black people.
It exposed a lot.
Well, exposed a lot, but it taught minorities and poor people about investing. It got them into investing. It taught them about the stock market. It taught them about the cryptos. You know, it taught them about. We started learning about what defunding means in the government. We started learning about the Senate. We started learning about the branches of government, democracy.
We had time to learn.
We had time, right? And then so if you took the time and you bettered yourself in this time, bro, you're gonna come out on the other side of the hill a lot freaking better than what you were before.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So don't waste the time. You know, I mean, TikTok videos is cool, but you know.
Invest in yourself. I think that's what people learned during this pandemic is learn how to invest.
That was probably the best thing for those of us who cared.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
And on that note, I think that's a good note to end the show. If you want to be a part of For the Love of Photo B, please send us an email or message. Shout out to everybody.
Camera, please.
Shout out to everybody. And shout out to I think it was in Austin, Texas, where they defunded the police and they used the money to house homeless.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Exactly. What we should, you know, and that's the one state that we didn't think was going to do it.
Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. So we're going to let y'all go. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on Valentine's Day.
Peace out.
Valentine's Day.